Check, check, 1, 2. All right.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
All right. Almost there. Good stuff. Oh, yes. The panic is real. It is all around us. Okay, I'm almost at that point. Let's just go straight into me hanging out with you guys. Oh, look how weird look how my green screen all funky. What happened to that? That's lovely. I'm all zoomed out. Hold on 1 second. I know what happened. Check this out. Let's see if I can fix it without even having to fix it. Let's go to B. Oh, look at that. Hey, all the broken things are becoming fixed again. Like a cat that wants to have kittens. Speaking of which, I will arrange at some point for Bucky to make an appearance. I kind of have to, because he's getting too cute by half, ladies and gentlemen. And the chat knows this. Hi, chat room. Hello. Why is this little chat window over here going crazy? I don't care. I'll move it out of the way so I can just look at you guys. And hello. You just closed the doc. Well, I know I did that. Hello. And that's the other thing I'm going to do is get out of here. This guy, command, is it command or is it option? It's click and something. It's command and click and something. It's over here. No. We'll see. Command and click. It's click and click. Oh, well. I'll figure out that button in a minute. That's the funny thing about trackpads. It's just a thing. So open up my chat room. There you are. There's your big, beautiful faceages. It's coming in now. I think, we're streaming everywhere. There's YouTube. I see YouTube's up. Good stuff. This is my favorite part of streaming when you see it online, is when people are doing that whole, am I seeing anyone? Is anyone here? Can you guys see me, or am I, hello? Can you get a Discord link? I believe so, sure. Yeah, we got the regular Joe one, which is pretty terrific, and has the Friday AI one in it. And we also have the special one just for our dear friends in the Patreon folks. I gotta give them something. So I give them their own little Discord all to themselves, which is great for us to use. All right, so cats eat your eyeballs when they find you dead. Well, I should hope so. I would hate to go to waste. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Good to see you. Boston, Brian is back tonight. We'll throw it his way. tonight. It's very exciting. JD Christie, big hand for Boston Brian, who I don't know if we're going to have to rename him. South Bay Brian? Maybe that's something. I don't know exactly where he's going to be. He's going to be close to San Diego or something, isn't he? Isn't he down that way? Southern California Sheehan, something like that. We'll figure it out. Hi, what's happening, everybody? I think YouTube ghost streamers are the funniest. All right. You mean people who don't realize they're streaming? All right. I need to find. Okay, where's this? Oh, this is good stuff. Ooh, this. I have to say, like the. Oh, okay. You know what, CSL? I realized what I was asking for, and I was being stupid again. It was the Jones response to the Ukraine attack, which is good stuff. And then there, I believe, I think this is. Well, let's go start. I mean, we're in the whole with friends like these. Who needs enemas? Arrangement right now, and it's kind of spectacular, I have to say. Like, not only are the people who are like all in on Trump Musk, they have no idea how to deal with the criticism from Musk about the bill. Like, they just can't process it. It's glorious to watch. It's a joy to experience. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the, when shit is fitting the shan, It's important to take advantage of the small joys in life. I've often said that the key to happiness in life is finding the joy in the things you cannot change, the things that will happen around you and you have no control over them, and you can find the little things, the silver linings, the curiosities, the things that brighten your day, because they're out of your hands anyway, so you might as well grab the joy from them because it doesn't give a shit if you're worried or not. And remember, one of the greatest Sparksisms ever, and I'm very proud of it, because Kip Winger asked me to recite it to him in person. He was like, what was that thing you said? I loved it, and I forgot what it was, and it was bothering me. And that was, worry is weaponized imagination. And oftentimes, when you are worried about something, it is just your imagination going wild in the negative sense or whatever. And many times that has been done to you. It is not even your choice. Obviously, there are habitual worry warts out there. I love you. I see you. I smell you. Quite frankly, maybe stop worrying and take a shower. But on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and germs, if I may, the role of the outside world, especially when it comes to news, is to get you to worry, is to take your imagination. The great, the most powerful thing about your humanity, according to Einstein, your imagination, and weaponizing it against you, using it to make you fret and sweat and be concerned. Now, no one is immune from this. Everybody gets a case of the worries sometimes. I'm not worry shaming you. But what I am saying is that there are opportunities where when it comes across, hold on, I got to grab that sound effect too in a minute, that CSL sent me just now, which is glorious and wonderful. Download. Yes, and please go away. I just want to continue to download it. There it is. And then I'll grab the other one and download it, which is fantastic because we had 2 new audio drops from Trump, and they were pretty spectacular the other day. So I want to throw them in the mix. Thank you for those. That never give anybody the power to weaponize your imagination and turn it against you. Don't ever do that. There's enough stuff in life to be concerned about, which is the smart person's version of worry. Yeah. And most people, they get carried away by it. So don't, is what I'm saying. And because we all do it, that message from me to you is about our side of the aisle. It is not my responsibility to clean up the worry mess that is going on over in Trumpdom. And it ain't pretty, kids. It is not. These people are effing the freak out. Hold on, let me just move this over here so I can see it a little bit better. And it should be in theater mode. There we go. That's a little better. Yeah. So Marjorie Taylor Greene went to the floor to bitch about something that was in a bill she voted for, but didn't know it was in there. And she's like, if it's still in there when we vote again, I'm not voting for it. If it's taken out, 10 people won't vote for it. So knock yourself out, dipshit. I can't tell you how much joy this stuff gives me. Look at that new, oh my gosh, what an enormous graphic that is. Where did that come from? I like it. I'm not complaining But holy smokes. All right, I'll move this over here. So there you go. Thank you for the new like. That's fantastic. I'll put it down here where it's reasonable. There you go. Yeah, so here's a lesson for us all, says Marjorie Taylor Greene, which of course is, I don't know, fish tank cleaner. It helps with ED. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm afraid. Here we go. Oh, and the sound's off. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to address the House about a clause that is in the One Big Beautiful Bill. This clause would take away state rights to make laws or regulate AI for 10 years.
Yeah, that's 9 years too many. Because I gotta tell you, by the time you guys even sign this, it won't matter anymore. It's too big that way. Sorry, dipshit. This technology is moving too fast for your tiny little monkey brain, your chimp brain on loan from the Cincinnati Zoo. It isn't going to help you in this situation. This is AI specifically is a complex issue. I won't say problem that is so profoundly out of your league that bitch about it all you want. You're not going to change a thing. But I'm enjoying the fact that you're willing to scuttle the big bullshit bill on behalf of this illusion that you have that you'll have some kind of control over this shit, which you absolutely will not.
I think federalism is something that we must always protect. And I warn against the dangers of protecting a tech industry where we have no idea the future of what this industry will hold.
Well, thank God this lady wasn't around when we were creating the nuclear bomb, you know?
AI is rapidly developing. AI has developed quickly over the past few years.
Yes. Which also could be called rapidly developing. Both. It has done both things, both rapidly and quickly.
What it will be 1 year from now, 5 years from now, and 10 years from now.
Someone's been watching a lot of Glenn Beck.
When we look to the future, we cannot take away states' rights to regulate or make laws to protect the people in their state or to regulate businesses that operate in their state. That would be destroying the very foundation of this country, which is federalism.
Yeah, no, but what you're talking about is a violation of the Commerce Clause. The states don't have a right to just eliminate business that can work in the rest of the country just to like bifurcate it out, because you can't have these dark zones. You know, I would argue you can't have those with women's rights, but you do you, fuckhead. But every other business, there is no one in the Republican Party that is going to sign off on something that allows anybody, any government official to go, well, that state can just stop that business from working or, you know, stop it in its tracks if they want to. And this state could, I guess, limit its power within their borders of the state. It's not going to fucking happen. Commerce in terms of the internet, that ship has fucking sailed, lady. And it's almost as if this is the exact opposite of how federalism works. You see, because there's a federation, they all get together and they have a constitution that overrides the state constitutions and they're limited the powers that are sent back to the states. But in terms of like tariffs and trade and all that kind of interstate commerce, the Commerce Clause being the main functional aspect of that, you know, means that all states have to kind of deal. If they don't like a business, they can regulate it to some degree in terms of, I guess, like alcohol or anything. They can argue it has a scientific reason behind it, even still. I mean, like you can have dry counties, I suppose. But look how long those lasted. Anyways, point being, that's right. Welcome, Marge, to the new game show, That's Not How It Works.
That's not how it works.
That's right.
It all wrong. It's a losing game. So let's all play along.
That's right, Marge. What do we have for her, Johnny? Abso-fucking-lutely nothing. She wins nothing. That's what being a loser means. This is not the part. This is your, first of all, you're in the federal government. And your job is to expand the rights and privileges of the people in your state or make sure that the federal government doesn't overreach in those areas, not you can create a limitation on how the rest of the states operate when they come through your territory. It doesn't work that way. It's never going to work that way. Congratulations, you're a loser. Go home. All right, so let's continue.
We must always limit federal power and protect state power. Now, the pushback...
No, we must not always. I have a great example. The Civil Rights Act, you dizzy fuck. I don't want a state to be like powerfully racist. I think that's terrible. And that would cut against that whole United States. You know how you and your dipshit friends always yell USA at all of Trump's rallies? You do know what the U stands for, right? United. Like we're all in this together, dumb fuck. So if you're worried about the ability to legislate AI, do it on the federal level where you fucking work. How about that? You're not a fucking governor showing up and going, wait a second, this bill is offensive to me. You work in the federal government. If you can't get it passed, you don't have enough votes, or you can't whip these or convince enough people, or you weren't even you were too busy to pay attention, that's your ass.
The reasons that I've been told about this is that American tech and AI companies must be able to compete with China. Well, American and tech and AI companies can compete with China, and they should compete with China.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's very sweet.
However, we don't destroy federalism in order to allow them to do that.
Hi, you do realize your dipshit president just did a trade with with Qatar for $2 billion on a stable coin that there's not even direct legislation over right now. You realize that this is nowhere near the problem. And also, Georgia is not going to stop the AI companies in Silicon Valley from advancing their technology. And by the way, let me tell you something. The law she is talking about, the law, this line in this, for those of you who don't know, it is a direct response to a law put forward in California to put safety measures on AI. So Republicans put this in to stop California's limitations that they want to put on. In California, they didn't pass anyways. So democracy worked. Dum-dum. The irony, though, that it's maggots like her that she's defending California's right to have a bill like this. Georgia's not going to pass a law to limit fucking AI in their state. Are you out of your mind? Where? First of all, who's moving their AI company there? Unless there's a lot of water to cool the fucking servers. There's no reason to put it there. It's not like that's where the brain of they call it the heartland because the brain isn't there, I think is the phrase. This was an anti-California provision of this thing, and you're against it. That's glorious. But there is no point where Georgia's going to go, we got to put our foot down. And even if they did, it wouldn't even fucking involve you.
It would be a fool's errand. Here's how this can work.
Okay, great. Settle in. Get out your notebooks. This is how it can work. Marjorie Taylor Greene, AI, the future. If I wanted these questions answered, the great questions of humanity, technology, and the future answered, I want them answered by Marjorie Trailer Park Greene.
Governors and state legislatures can make their states friendly for tech companies in AI. Bringing these companies in by making it easy for these companies to operate in their states. That's how it's been done for every single innovation, industry, manufacturing, and all companies across America.
Yes, I think everyone with black lung would agree with you that the coal version of that worked out very well. They were very friendly to the coal companies. Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where the paradise lay? I'm sorry, my son, Lord, you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. Bong, dong, dong, ding, 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 dong. Yeah, all right. So this is about driving it out of the state and limiting what it can do there, not enticing it in. Dum-dum. Let's see if she can stick the landing.
You don't destroy federalism for one industry, you protect it and allow states to compete to bring those companies into their states.
What? Whoa, whoa, hold on. What? She can't be this. Come on. That's stupid. What the fuck? Lady, that provision is so that states can't limit what AI can do in other states and like the services available in their states because it's too much of an overreach. Or if somebody wants to come there and build a fucking AI of their own that will figure out how to build a bioweapon or something, you want to be able to legislate within that. But there would be a federal law around that anyway. It's still a crime or whatever. So what they're talking about is limitations like California. So California, for those that don't know, and I was on a call about this with Adam Conover and a bunch of other people who mean very well, but know fuck all about this issue. It was embarrassing. They dragged me onto this call because as a Democrat and as somebody who gives a shit and who's smart about these things, they would think I would be directly sympathetic. And I am to creating certain like legislation and regulations around it. But what they had planned was fucking impossible. There was no way it was going to pass. And even if it did, the allocation for like a $60 billion server farm for California to test AIs before they're released into the world like they're a fucking like bald eagle that you found with a busted wing is dumb. It's dumb. It's not going to happen. You have to find other solutions. Stop. But if you get fixated on this dumb solution and you're arguing about it all the time, and it's just a fucking waste of breath. It's ridiculous. And to the point, I was like, you do realize this will just be singular to California, and everybody will just move Silicon Valley out of California to someplace like Idaho where there'll be zero fucking regulations. And she seems to think that the opposite, like that they want this rule in there so that California can't limit these things, so that other states are dragged down by it, because by the time Silicon Valley relocates itself and moves out of there and does that, we'll already be a year behind or something like that. So that was what the big fear. So that's why this provision is in the big dumbass bill. And but she thinks it's that you won't be able to like write a law or regulation to encourage AI to come into your state. Fuck me. Look. Whew. It's amazingly dumb. Is this really where she's going?
The right way to handle this going forward.
It's not the way anybody's handling it, you dizzy fuck. This is not a thing. That's not what this is.
Here's a lesson for us all.
Okay. I'm waiting. Yeah. I love lamp. Here it comes.
No matter what political party holds office and is in charge, we should all watch carefully the bills that we pass, and we should be mindful about protecting not only...
Whoa, lady. Whoa! No, you don't get to lecture everybody else because you are like reacting to something. You voted for this bill and then saw it afterwards. And now you're like, I shouldn't have voted for that because this thing is in there. And it's the opposite of what you think it is. Motherfucker. Like, this is amazing. I'm stunned. For real. How does... Like, what is the reaction in the room? I mean, everybody must be just sitting there going, what the fuck? What does she think she's saying? Look, I'm glad she's throwing a monkey wrench in this thing. I don't care that she's got it completely backwards. It wouldn't matter if she had it completely backwards. Motherfucker. Sorry, you're in Muhlenberg County and you appreciate singing John Prine? Oh, thanks, Shayna. My dad sings that to me all the time, and he's sung it to me since I was a kid. He's out of the hospital, by the way. He's at home now. We're going to check in with him after my show tonight. Thanks to everybody who was sending their love via social media and that kind of stuff. He's doing better. I have a feeling it's going to be touch and go for a bit. Hopefully more touch than go. All right.
State rights, but the rights of the American people, and look to the future. When I was a freshman member of Congress in 2021, I
all the way back then
was told that we would...
My dad's 84.
At war with China within 5 years. Well, here we are approaching 5 years later. I don't think America should have to go to war with China. We can beat China economically.
Jesus Christ, woman, what the fuck are you talking about? Thank you, guys. What? Well, go to war? What the what? Ah, fuck. Like, I'm going, I don't know what. Did they take, I mean, maybe I got this wrong. Does anybody know, is the Capitol building, has it been modified over the years since the Cold War to have rockets underneath it, and it can, like, rise up out of the ground and orbit if there's any perceived danger, and they forgot to tell everybody to put on their oxygen masks, and this thing is at 15,000 feet, and they're all just dropping like IQ points while we watch? Because this is, again, it's so weird to be for her actions, but still not being able to figure out what the fuck she's talking about.
Ask yourself, why do we send our food to be processed over in China? Why do
What? 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 Which food processing is she talking about? What food is being sent over to be processed? I mean, like, what are you talking about? Like buying sauces and powders with MSG in it? You mean, what? Horse food? Right. I don't know. I don't know what she's talking about. Nobody does. Jesus Christ.
we rely on China to produce our critical supply chain, like medicines?
Okay. Medicines are something that are in a supply chain, not the supply chain itself. All right. Should I just give up on words having meaning when I'm listening to this woman? Fuck me. All right. Okay. Again, do we get 80% of our antibiotics from China and a bunch of our Tylenol? Yes. Why? Because it's cheaper. If they cut us off tomorrow, would we be out of those things? No. We'd buy them from India or Europe or, any of the, like, we have machinery here to do it. We could buy a bunch of it from Canada. We could pay them to up production, but it would be more expensive. We get it from there because it's cheap. The same reason we get everything else from there. It's not because it's the only place you can fucking get it.
So why would we depend on this country for the American people's supplies? And why would we go to war with them when we can be innovative right here at home in America, producing critical chain supplies, medicines, processing our own food? A war is nothing we should ever strive for or look for or prepare to have to engage in.
What? Sorry. All right. Okay. Well, she just saved us a bunch of money in the budget, everybody. Yeah, shut down the Defense Department. War is something we should never prepare for. What a genius. This is probably she must singularly be the greatest Republican thinker of our time. No one should ever prepare for war. That's how you can best be prepared for it. Sorry, my face is turning red because I'm laughing so much. All right, here we go.
We should conduct ourselves here at home in a way where we don't have to go to war. We don't have to depend on foreign countries.
I do. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about, lady? What does China and war have to do with the fact that you voted for a bill you didn't know anything about? Jesus Christ. This is like the level of just like blatant deflection into nowhere.
And we never destroy federalism for the future of an industry that we have no idea what it will do.
Amen. I just keep picturing her staff going, "You sure you don't want to take these written remarks with you?" And she's like, "Nah, I'll wing it. I got this." Oh, God. Yeah, maybe you should use AI to fucking, "Hey, I'm trying to say this. Can you help me say it like an adult with a future?"
This warning, I urge all of my colleagues that when
To not do what I did. What?
the House gets to vote on the One Big Beautiful Bill again after it leaves the Senate, that we make sure we protect federalism and at the same time urge our colleagues in the Senate to pull this clause out of the One Big Beautiful Bill. This bill should be about tax policy, protecting Americans to not have to have a tax crease of over 4.
I don't want a tax crease. That sounds painful. Nothing's worse than a tax crease. Oh, really puts a crimp in your financial picture, if I do say so myself. I said, really puts a crimp in your financial picture, if I do say so myself. Thank you. Thank you very much.
$7 trillion. It should be about America First Energy and Americans' border security, not about allowing AI to run rampant and destroying federalism in the process.
I don't know. It's like she's taking half sentences and just throwing them up there going, ah! I'll take the subject and the verb from this sentence and the object and the adjectives from this. Ah! I just want you to know this should inspire you, ladies and gentlemen. It should inspire you. You should be able to see this woman on the floor of the Congress and go, shit, I could be a congressperson, because you could. Just when you do, don't do whatever the fuck that is. Wow. Wow.
That, Mr. Speaker, I yield the remaining of my time.
You yield the remaining of your time? Should I be concerned about the word remainder as opposed to shit? Thank you, Melissa. I'm doing my best. Although I may lose my fucking mind like watching that dizzy shithead blather on about this stuff. And also, so let me see if I can do this. MTG AI clause should be like, Marjorie Taylor Greene under fire for opposing the AI clause again, which was an anti-California thing. And she's too stupid to know this. Let's see. Yeah, so here's what the bill actually says. The bill includes a provision that prohibits states from enforcing any law or regulation limiting, restricting, or otherwise regulating artificial intelligence models, artificial intelligence systems, or automated decision systems entered into interstate commerce for a 10-year period. So interstate commerce means it's one of the ones available on the internet. You can restrict some dipshit in a subdivision from making his own AI model that gives out a free Nazi pamphlet, prints, digitally online all the time. But the minute he charges for it, you're fucked. You cannot interfere with interstate commerce because these are commercial endeavors. If they aren't commercial endeavors and it's about your universities and they have an AI and you're like, I don't want these crazy motherfuckers to try shit out. So your state is allowed to do that with AI within your state, but it can't regulate other people's AI that people can have access to because we don't have those kind of borders in the United States. Dumb. And she seems to think this is, let's see what her response was. Holy shit. Because I don't even know, so full transparency. Let's see, drag this down here. Oh, get out of here. Take this off here. There we go. Just shrink it down a little bit so you guys can see all the text. full transparency, I did not know about this section on pages 278 and 279 of the OBBB. That's the One Big Beautiful Bill. That's how they're calling it. Some people are just calling it the BBB. That strips states of the rights to make laws or regulate AI for 10 years. 10 years! I am adamantly opposed to this, and it is a violation of states' rights. No, it isn't. It'd be a violation of the Commerce Clause to even do it. So I don't even know how, like, the only difference is they just don't want California, where all the AI main models are, or Texas, to limit them. California for safety reasons, Texas for, oh my God, it's the Antichrist reasons. I'm adamantly opposed to this, and it's a violation of states' rights, and I would have voted no if I'd have known this was in there. Well, here's a fucking idea. Maybe take the bill and run it through AI and see if, is there anything problematic in this that I or someone equally as dumb would have a problem with? We have no idea what AI will be capable of in the next 10 years, and giving it free reign and tying states' hands is potentially dangerous. This needs to be stripped out in the Senate. When the OBBBBBB comes back, comes back to the House for approval after Senate changes, I will not vote for it with this in it. And like I said, there are 10 people who won't vote for it if it's taken out. Dummy. Not the other way around. I don't know what we should be reducing federal power and preserving state power, not the other way around. Like, again, no. You're not going to violate the fucking Commerce Clause because of Luddites in Georgia. Like, she thinks it means the opposite of what it means. Especially with rapidly developing AI that even experts warn they have no idea what it may be capable of. And then this is the actual language of it. Except as, and I mentioned this before, but except as provided in paragraph 2, no state or political subdivision thereof, meaning a county or a municipality or a Vulcanvania kind of Shire Reeve system, may enforce during the 10-year period beginning on the date of the enactment of this act, any law or regulation of that state or a political subdivision thereof, limiting, restricting, or otherwise regulating artificial intelligence models, artificial intelligence systems, or automated decision systems that entered into interstate commerce, which means any of the big models that are available to the rest of the country, which is, this was an attempt to keep California from limiting the models that would come out of California, because that's the ones we all use. And then it may not be construed to prohibit the enforcement of any law or regulation. The primary purpose and effort is just to remove legal implements to or facilitate the deployment or operation of an artificial intelligence model or artificial decision system or intelligence system, or streamline licensing, permitting, routing, zoning, procurement, or reporting procedures in a manner that facilitates the adoption of artificial intelligence models, artificial intelligence systems, or automated decision systems. Meaning you can't even legislate against, like, if somebody wants to build a giant cloud server in your area and you've got environmental regs, let's say, that's what that part means. That part means that you can't you can't keep them from building something related to AI in your district using environmental law or some other regulations as a way to attack the AI. Now, they would have to say that you were doing it just to regulate the model. They'd have to make that case in court. They'd have to say that there's no other way for this server farm to exist without polluting it like it does, for that, right? So that would be caught up in courts and you'd get around it. Like, the second part of that, I'm less worried about. But the first part was an attack on California's attempt to set up some sort of safety regulation, and the same thing the Biden administration was doing. And they were basically stripping it out and making this kind of part of a law that just goes, you can't do anything about it for 10 years. And they don't expect they'll be able to repeal it once it's in there. And like I said, we're really talking about 2. By the time they would get on their feet to even do anything about this, the ship is fucking sailed. So I feel, for one, a lot smarter. I was worried that as I continued to listen to her, somehow my brain would start to shrivel. But in many ways, it filled my intellect with a renewed sense of joie de vivre. Because if there's that much stupid in the world, obviously there's more room for smarts. We can muscle. It is. I think what I'm trying to say is, like darkness is not a thing in and of itself. It is just simply the absence of light. Marjorie Taylor Greene is not an dum-dum as an entity. She is just the lack of any fucking sense at all. I think that's what I'm looking for. So, yeah. Now, let me, let's see. Let me show you this because boy, oh boy, has the maggot sphere been freaking out about the Lana Douche, for example, one of the many who is freaking out about the Elon Musk reference. Let me take this down, and then does this like shrink down this way? How does it do? Come here, you weirdo. There you go. Shrink down. There you go. That she's like shocking. Dana Loesch, sorry, I misread that. Lana Douche reacts to Elon Musk slamming Trump's big, beautiful bill. Oh, sorry.
How do you think President Trump is going to be when he finds out that Elon Musk said, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it."
Look, the president on this bill, it doesn't change the president's opinion.
Cut to me now. You cut at the wrong time. You cut at the wrong time.
This is one big...
It's still playing the audio.
Beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it.
Yeah, it's not beautiful. It is one big bill, though, but it's not beautiful. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
You don't have to tell me. Welcome to the, in the do's and don'ts of the world, welcome to the don't file.
And Elon Musk is 1,000% correct. Welcome back to the program. Dana Lash with you. We're at the top of this third hour. He is 1,000% correct.
You can't be. Percent means per 100. So you can only have 100 per 100 because that's what per 100 means. But please, tell us how smart the guy is.
And he tweeted out, let me pull up his tweet. Quote, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive,
just can't stand it anymore.
outrageous pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination.
That thing is an abomination upon the Lord."
Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. And he's
You do realize none of them have any shame, right?
right. Thankfully, somebody can say it. You know, what are people going to now go and try to cancel Elon?
Apparently he can't, because just hedging towards that on the ABC interview is what got him booted.
Musk now, he's exactly right. Republicans pretend to be fiscally responsible and
I agree. They're just lying assholes. You go, girl. Yes, queen.
fiscally conservative when they're not in control of Congress. When they're in control of Congress, they spend like they spend like Hunter Biden. They turn into Hunter Biden whenever they're in office. And, you know, this needs to be said. I'm not going to be, look, you can like Trump and still think that this bill is garbage. And
No, you really can't. No, sorry. Shit or get off the pot, lady. You got to make a choice. It's his big, beautiful bill. If you think it sucks, you think he's ugly. Just say it. Say it. Say it.
it's correct. And even, and Massey tweeted, he's right. And Musk retweeted, well, yeah, simple math. It is. They're right. Thomas Massey is correct. Rand Paul is correct. And for the people who say that, well, where are their ideas? Have you not paid attention? No offense, but if you're asking that, you need to pay pay better attention.
Yeah, would you get off my shit and start maybe smelling your own shit, okay? Why aren't you paying more attention, all right? Because apparently you don't even know. You think you know, but you don't. Yeah, it's his signature legislation. It's the only fucking thing he cares about passing. Stupid. He wants everything in it. That's why it's a big, beautiful bill. Otherwise, they just pass his fucking tax cut again, using reconciliation. But they can't.
Because in committees, they have been fighting to reduce spending.
Flailing. I don't think they've been fighting. I think they've been talking and arguing in some cases.
Offering amendment after amendment.
I'm sorry, I have to snap my fingers when I say go, you go, girl. I apologize. That was my mistake. I'm new to the entire process. You go, girl. Yes, queen.
Proposal after proposal, and it is shot down every damn time.
Oh, it's so brutal. If only Republicans had control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, they could fix these things. Like, it would be so easy. You could do it in one phone call.
It never makes it out of committee because it's fiscally responsible. Republicans don't have the balls for the austerity that they promised you during the campaign season.
That's right. But Marge does. I mean, go ahead.
They all lied to you. And I don't know why anybody out there, any of you watching or anyone driving by, would defend it.
Yeah, I don't either. You're right. Republicans, absolute assholes. Completely full of shit, lying on the campaign trail. Everything Trump promised, he was lying out of his ass. Nothing's going to happen with Russia, Ukraine in 2 weeks, or Iran in 2 weeks. His tariffs aren't going to work. Exactly. He's been bullshitting you the whole time. Oh, this is what I see. You're saying all this stuff so you don't have to say you were wrong. You can blame them. You can say they're right now, but you were pushing for him last year when Harris's bill would have been more fiscally conservative, would have been more responsible, would have protected the most vulnerable and shaved very little off the people who are doing very well, compared to Trump just fucking like keel hauling the entire fucking economy. But whose side were you on, dum-dum? Huh?
Your job is to keep these people honest.
Yeah, well, no. I guess you'd have to get them to be honest in the first place, because you can't keep someone honest who was lying the whole time.
And not run defense for them when they lie to you. If you are defending this bill after being lied to about it, why?
Why? I know.
Because all of it, none of this, not a single damn thing in this bill accomplishes what you wanted.
Not a thing. It's all shit. Now, I think largely Lana Douche is doing this to suck up to Elon Musk because that's where the money is. And the Trump ship has sailed, and, and she should have been warned when he was threatening, to like primary Chip Roy about the debt ceiling in December. But hey.
Not even the tax cuts are permanent. I wrote a whole piece, a very, very big deep dive. And you don't have to take my word for it.
I wouldn't. I can't think of a reason why anyone would. Especially considering you sold all of these people to everybody who watches your dipshit show this whole time. You know the guy I promoted? You know what he did? Rescue package, CHIPS Act, and the first infrastructure bill in almost 30 years. The expanded child tax credit, that kind of shit. That's the guy I was pushing. I'll stand by that. Stand by your fucking dude. Stand by him. Stand by your man. Take whiffs of his orange flatulence. And when he blows your brains out with gas that comes from his backside, stand by your man, Dana.
You go to chapter and verse, go down to the title From a Chainsaw to a Nail File. Read the post, but there's a link in there.
There's a link.
Goes to all of the stuff that's in the bill. And it's hyperlinked, and you can click on that link. And
I'm very excited. I'm not going to. But I trust whoever works on your staff can work a hyperlink. I'm sure they have a decent Bitly account.
And what you do is there's a way with a Mac, you can hit Control F.
Sure.
And then there's a little bar that pops up.
You know what happens when I hit Control F, lady? It's weird. It happens every time. I don't know what that is.
What you want to do is write temporarily in that bar and then hit Enter. And then it's going to show you, it's going to go right to where it says all these new tax cuts are. Every single one of the tax cuts, it says temporarily, 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 temporarily. It has a 4-year limit. That expired.
Yeah, I think that's largely because that's the only way you can do it with reconciliation. If you try to make a permanent law, you have to have more votes. The temporary part is what makes it possible with the margin that they have. Hence the first tax cuts. Dumb. They can't make them permanent. They don't have the votes. You know why? Because there's no fucking mandate. That's why. There's not a mandate. Look, Democrats have work to do convincing people to come back over to reality and actually participate in helping people besides themselves and helping the entire country as a whole in what I would call true patriotism. But Republicans have just blown that entire thing off. That's what this is. They're just cutting whatever deals they can in the short term because they're treating the country like renters.
Conveniently, right when we are running into the next presidential cycle in 2028.
Mm-hmm. Right, because they want to be able to run on, if we don't get back in, your taxes are going to go up. That's the point, dummy. They're laying a trap specifically. They could make it 2 years if they thought they were going to win the midterms and have a bigger margin. How about that? Let me tell you something. If the Republicans actually thought things were going well and that the polling leaned their way and that the American people were going to love this shit, they would just make it 2 years. They would make it right up, up into or just after the midterms. Like, hey, if you don't get us in there after the midterms, your taxes are going to go way up if you vote these people in. But they don't. You know why? Because they know they're going to lose no matter what they do. So they have to make it past that point. So even if there's a changeover at the midterm, they can weather it, or they hope the margin will be relatively close. So they won't be able to, the Democrats won't be able to bring a bill forward, get rid of it right away.
And the reason that was done is because instead of cutting spending to control the cost, they decided to cut your tax cut to control the cost. They didn't cut spending. They limited how much money of your own hard-earned dollars you get to keep. They did that to try to fudge the score that they wanted from the CBO. Now, when you hand something to the CBO, Congressional Budgetary Office, the CBO looks at just exactly what you gave it. It doesn't go, now, wait a minute. These tax cuts are temporary. They expire in 2028. I mean, all of it. The child tax credit, the standard deduction increase, any new deductions, the no tax on tips. Oh, yeah, that's all temporary.
Yeah, they do.
The CBO doesn't look at that and go, oh, well, they
yes, they do.
fudged us here and they limited these tax cuts only for 4 years so that they could get a better score out of us. They just look at that at just the basic math of it, and then they give you the score.
Yeah, but they don't say that, they don't read it as temporary and implement it mathematically as if it's permanent. It just shows up that in the first few years, that taxes stay low essentially, and then they expect taxes to go up after that. And so in the future, the deficit's going to come down because that tax break is only temporary and it's going to go away. So they give you this artificial horizon.
So it's like AI. It only feeds back what you prompt it. It's wholly unreliable, really.
Yes, the CBO is AI. Yeah, totally.
To know how they're trying to game it so that you know how to interpret it. That being said,
thank God we have Lana Douche here telling us how to interpret something she doesn't understand.
They get the score that they want, and then they can parade it through the streets. Oh, look, look, it comes in at this much. It's only this much. But they're also raising the debt ceiling in this. We're adding to the debt. It's insane.
Yeah. We know.
I would be lying to your face if I said this was a big, beautiful bill.
And I couldn't take it. I don't know about you, but if Lana Douche lied to me about that, I would just be broken as a person. Don't lie to my face, Lana Douche. Not anymore. You obviously did it all during the campaign.
If I told you that, you should want to boycott my program.
I already do. I've only seen this much of it, and already I'm like, I feel like a boycott. I feel a boycott coming on.
Because I would be lying to you just right to your face, and I'm not doing that.
What do you... How else does anyone watch this?
It's a very unpopular thing to be consistent, especially in a society that rewards inconsistency.
What? What are you talking about? What? That rewards inconsistency? You can't blame society on Trump's fuck-ups and you're swallowing it up to this point? Shut the fuck... Good Lord. But again, This is the turd polishing that is going on. Wait, look at how you want to see who's really upset about it, ladies and gentlemen. You want to see who's really upset? You can tell I've been doing like baby cat voices all day with Bucky, can't you? How's it doing? Who is it? I've been talking to the new kitten like he's a baby all day. Greg Kelly, good guess. Just that's true though, because he was asleep on. Hold on, is my phone in here? Yeah, hold on. Can I show you something? Can I? Because he's in the other room. He's probably upstairs with Camden. He was asleep on the couch, and should come in there. Ba-dong. There it is. All right, open this up. There you go. Let's see. Dink. Yeah. And I'll stretch this out. Wait a second. There we go. Can I mean, he was asleep on the couch, being a puddin'. Look at him being a puddin'. Look at him. Just being a puddin' with his little bell on. Is Bucky short for buckaroo? It very well could be. Yeah, he was. Yeah, it's so like he's very floppy. He's our floppiest cat by far. Like you can carry him around on your arm like this, and he's just like whatever. It's great. And he was laying on the couch, just like, and he woke like he was so tired, and Camden came, picked him up, and he was just like, oh, I don't know, I've been running so much, and he was like holding him, just like, I'm like, careful, he'll just flop everywhere. Yes, Buckaroo Banzai, exactly. But yeah, so just a sweetie. Yeah. So he's already getting along. He's going to be a pretty cat. He is. Yeah, he's a carry me cat, and he wants to be. He follows you around, and he'll beep, like his little peep meow that really doesn't beep like that. And he wants to be picked up because he wants to like have the view of being at like shoulder level. Yeah. So he's completed our side. Okay, now I have to palate cleanser. That was our palate cleanser. But back to the show. Who's really, you think Lana Douche is mad? You think Marjorie Taylor Greene is mad? Oh, buddy, look out. Tim Pool has got his mad face on. Oh, dang it. No, it's not Alex Jones yet. Look. Oh. Take that picture again. I wasn't looking scally enough. I'm doing my harumph. That seems to be what it's doing. One big, beautiful bill act. And this is very wordy. Elon Musk declares war on Trump's massive bill, adding 2.5 trillion to the deficit. Is the thing. Yeah. So I'm going to squeeze down here, will you? I guess it's like this. This is as small as it gets. Is that what happens? Do I need to get the... It's hard to fit all this in the screen. There you go. Yeah, so we'll just drop into this. This will be too long.
Trump's big, beautiful bill. It's likely going to pass. It made it through the House. It's going through the Senate. The opposition...
No, it's not likely going to pass, dipshit.
And the Senate is minimal, with Rand Paul being the principal actor saying, hey, we don't want to add trillions of dollars to the deficit. We got to cut the budget. Donald Trump says this is going to be fantastic. We got from the White House 50 reasons why it's great. They're saying it's a massive reduction. It's going to do a lot of things for the Trump agenda, things you want to see happen.
No, probably not.
Trump needs that spending package. He needs these.
Why? Why does he need all this extra money? I thought he was like the businessman who could come in, early and under budget, right? What do you need the extra fucking money for? I thought they were going to cut $2 trillion and you were just going to use those savings, dum-dum.
Funds allocated. But Elon Musk's calling it a disgusting abomination.
Which is interesting because that's the reviews of your show in general. So maybe you could sue them for IP theft.
Saying that it's bloat,
Trademark.
it's anti-Doge. It negates the work that they were doing, has a lot more to it than that. Marjorie Taylor Greene posted that she didn't realize in the House that this big, beautiful bill includes a provision that restricts the regulation of AI at the state level for 10 years. I mean, this bill is reported, I think it's around 1,100 or so pages long. Nobody read it.
Jesus Christ. It's almost like an addendum to the ACA or something. I thought Republicans were going to solve all that shit. No big bills, everything cut into, all the programs get their own vote by themselves, all these individual things, right? The big, beautiful bill is the antithesis of everything that they ran on for years. Now, here's the weird part. Which side can this dipshit afford to come down on? It's not like he could take a principled stance on anything.
They don't know what's in it. Now, I will say this. Mr. Filibonti reliably informs me that there is this provision in the big, beautiful bill that would take suppressors off of the NFA restricted items list. And now I'm kind of like, just, you know, I know they're talking about adding $2.5 trillion to the deficit over the next, I think it's, what is it, next 10 years?
No, not 2.5 to the next, in the next 10 years. $5 trillion in the next 2.
But I want to buy a bunch of suppressors, so, you know, we weigh this one. So right now, this is the big fight. And the question is, who's right? Donald Trump and his allies are saying this is going to cut down on costs. It is a large reduction, while the corporate...
Which it is not. So if you're talking about right morally or whatever, both of them are fucked. But that's wrong. That's just materially wrong.
Corporate press and Elon Musk are saying it's adding massive bloat. Then you've got questions about what is actually in the bill.
Yeah, but don't worry. Tim has read it. Tim's read it. Tim read it. Go ahead, Tim. Tell him what's in it.
And here's my favorite part. Everybody's talking about how, with all this going on, Donald Trump's approval rating is better than Obama and Bush for the same time in their second terms. Okay.
From Rasmussen, you mean?
I'll roll with it because it sounds good, but the
also not Biden? That's interesting.
polls are, what's the right word for it? Manic. One pollster has Trump up 13.
Hey, fuckwad. What the hell does this have to do with the actual bill? Whether the legislation will pass or not, and the value of what's in it? Mr. I can stand for another $2.5 trillion added to the deficit if I can buy a fucking silencer. Why? Because as big a pussy as you are, having a gun isn't enough. You have to be able to shoot people in quiet, in silence. Does the noise make your ears go boom, boom?
The next has them down 7. In the same time period, a 20-point swing.
Nobody cares.
It makes sense? Yeah, I didn't think so. So let's get into all this. We'll talk about it, my friends. Before we do, shout out to Steven Crowder and the Mug Club. You guys rock. Thank you guys for hanging out in this noon hour in the Rumble morning lineup as I transition you into the afternoon. I'm your host, Tim Pool. You can follow me on X and Instagram. You got the ometer, QSense.
No.
Going for private members. Game development omnibus bill. New York Times. Elon Musk.
Oh, by the way, so you're checking the New York Times, which is the legacy media is fake news, full of shit, and is untrustworthy, but that's where you're going for your source. Cool. You do realize you're not allowed, right? You're not allowed to shit on the legacy media and then use it as a source, right? If you find something in it that's wrong, you're allowed to use it. But if you're using it as like, this is indication of what actually occurred or what was actually said, you're not allowed. You have lost your library card.
Calls Trump policy bill a disgusting abomination. Now
which is true. He did say that. And so no lies detected, I guess.
2 minds on this one.
Of course you are, because you can't have a standard because you don't understand any of it.
I am. I hate the omnibus bill. I hate the mass spending that they always do. I loved when Matt Gaetz said single item spending bills. They found a way to get rid of him from Congress, but shout out to him and his new... No. They didn't find a way.
He found a way to split before the ethics committee brought it forward that he was engaged in trafficking of children.
Show. And what do we get now? Donald Trump gets in, and once again, we're looking at omnibus spending. One big, beautiful bill, he says, but I'm of two minds on this. You know why?
Because you don't actually have any standards and you're a vacillating butt plug for Trump and Putin and Elon Musk, I guess. And so anytime there's a division amongst those people, you have to be divided because you are loyal to them.
I am not a revolutionary, my friends. I am not. I'm a reformer, which means frequently we will compromise. So what do we have here? I don't like how the government mass spends. I don't like how they strip our buying power and our savings away through mass spending and deficit spending. But
Yeah, they don't.
I want Trump to win. I want Trump to win, and these...
Why would you want him to win if that's what he's doing? How does that make any sense whatsoever? If he's doing the thing that you hate, you just said you fucking hate it. If he's doing the thing you hate, why do you want him to win? How does that... Listen to that again.
Will compromise. So what do we have here?
What do we have here?
Like how the government mass spends.
Don't like it.
I don't like how they strip our buying power and our savings away through mass spending and deficit spending. But I want Trump to win.
You want him to win at the game of stripping away your buying power with deficit spending.
I want Trump to win, and these next few years are extremely important. Now, many people may say, but Tim, they always promise to make these cuts, but they never do, and they're going to keep doing it, perhaps. However, the attacks on our institutions from the far left and Democrats, the way they defend human traffickers, the way they defend MS-13 gang members.
Okay, you mean the guy who had a bunch of people driving to a job site and he was driving a car? By the way, you do realize we're defending the rule of law, because if you can violate it for, the sketchy people in society, you can violate it for everyone else. You guys seem to understand this when it comes to like online free speech, right?
The way they went after Catholics in that new FBI report, you see this one?
They didn't go after Catholics at all. There were anti-abortion groups posing as pro-life Catholic groups and using that as their wedge point to find and recruit people. It's not the same thing. They don't just gather you up just for being Catholic, or Biden would have been in fucking jail, because he goes to church more times in a month than Trump has gone in his life.
The way they tried to, the way they literally called parents terrorists.
They did not literally call parents terrorists. They didn't.
I'm sitting there being like, okay. This is the status quo in how they do spending bills. It's not even a grand departure.
Sorry, what are we in a deficit because of Catholics and school board terrorists?
From what from what the government normally does. So that's why I kind of roll my eyes. I don't like what they're doing, and I oppose a lot of it. However, I want Trump to win. So it is tough.
Why, again, if he's doing the thing you hate, why do you want him to win? How does this make any fucking sense? This is just dumb. I'm starting to think we owe Marjorie Taylor Greene an apology.
It's tough. Democrats are going to try and win back power in 26 in the midterms. They will immediately impeach Trump. If they win...
Yes, don't threaten me with a good time. But I think yes. Yeah, I think that works. That works for me. Does that work for everybody? Yeah, okay.
The presidency in 28, they're going to open the border, flood this country with illegal immigrants, ship the 2030 census, and they'll never lose another election.
Why? If Latinos tend to be, for example, Catholic, as you said, they tend to be more pro-life. They tend to be more conservative. So why would opening the southern border lead to a Democratic majority? It wouldn't. As a matter of fact, the idea that like black people in the United States leaning Democratic has become a normal thing because of actions taken by the Democratic Party to protect them as they were recovering from things like Jim Crow and redlining and those kind of things. Whereas the Hispanic community is a very diverse population that came into the country through a myriad of different ways. And the ones that crossed the border 10 years ago just to work in a field are very different from the people who are able to pay a coyote $16,000 to sneak across the border. These are two different people. The people who came across to pick strawberries don't have $16,000 in their back pocket. So the people that do have that, for them and their wife and their 2 kids, are rich enough to get in and pull the ladder up behind them. It's a different group of people. And opening the border like that would just bring those people in first. They're not going to give a shit about democratic principles. They're not going to want, better immigration policy. They're going to want the door shut behind them.
So it's hard to say. Now, I think this bill is going to pass either way, but let's read the news and break down what we got going on. The New York Times says Elon Musk lashed out on Tuesday against the far-reaching Republican bill intended to enact President Trump's domestic policy agenda, posting on X that it was a disgusting abomination and telling House members who voted for it, you did wrong. The tech billionaire criticized the bill, one of Mr. Trump's top priorities.
Why don't you just read his fucking tweet? Why are you reading someone else's take of the tweet? You know it exists. This isn't an interview. This is how fucking stupid this is. Tim Pool, you're a dipshit. What the fuck is wrong with you? The New York Times is not reporting on an interview or an inside scoop or something from a fucking whistleblower or somebody in his organization who overheard him saying it at a fucking restaurant. He posted it on X and he followed it up with a bunch of other shit that was arguably worse, dum-dum. Read that. Why the fuck are you reading what they wrote about the thing that you could just read yourself?
A series of about 10 posts in them. Musk.
Yeah, I know. Go read the fucking posts. Fuck me.
Reshared commentary from lawmakers like Rand Paul and Mike Lee of Utah, 2 Republicans who had sided with him in opposing the rising U.S. deficit. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore, Musk wrote an X.
Yeah, you don't have to read the prose.
He called the domestic policy bill massive, outrageous, pork-filled, adding that it would massively increase the already gigantic budget deficit and that Congress is making America bankrupt. He is correct.
But Tim wants them to do it. He wants them to win. Because a win is valuable strictly for the winning, not for what actually, like, let's say you were having a competition with a fellow serial killer of how many people you could skull fuck on your way across the highways of America. Hey, winning is winning. You can't argue with it. Whatever the standards are, or the measuring stick of it, or what, all the damage done in the process, it's not important.
He did not target any specific members of Congress, but hinted that he might support efforts to unseat those who backed the bill in the 26 midterm elections. In November next year, we fire all politicians who betrayed the American people.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of the New York Times article. I would say, though, that he hinted that he might support efforts to unseat those. In November next year, we fire all politicians who betrayed the American people. That's not a hint.
That includes Trump.
When does Tim break into his rap bit? Blimp, blimp. Like, yo, what if you had one shot to hide your bald spot and make your rhymes drop? Yo.
Trump is gung-ho on this bill. He's saying, let's roll, baby. And my attitude on this is, I think Trump knows full well the bill is bad.
That's amazing. That, what? All right. He's gung-ho on it because he knows it's bad. Hal, are we going to talk about MTG on the Senate floor today? You mean the House floor, Coach Share? We covered that already. I did the whole video. So if you want to hop back to the beginning of the show, you can watch it and catch up. I did it. I did cover it. Run this by me again.
Includes Trump. Mm-hmm. Trump is gung-ho on this bill.
Yeah, Trump is gung-ho, and you want him to win. He's the guy, man. This is the shit. He's going to do it. He's gung-ho about it. Or I guess as, I think as Diamond and Silk would say it.
Hung-go.
Yeah, he's hung-go about it. And congratulations, Tim, by citing a newspaper you say is fake as a source for your own program. You win the 5 eggs.
5 eggs in a month.
That's right. You get 5 eggs. 5 eggs. He wins the 5 eggs award. We haven't given that out in a while.
He's saying, let's roll, baby. And my attitude on this is, I think Trump knows full well the bill is bad.
Then why does he want it?
But he's thinking, there's a handful of things in there I need and want, I'll take it.
What? Why didn't he just pass a bill with the handful of things he needs without burdening it with a bunch of other shit?
It's tough. I wish it was as easy to be like Elon or like Trump and just say one way or another, this is exactly what must be done. Either we trash the bill or we support the bill. But I have concerns beyond just this.
Yes, you do. He's a deep thinker, that Dim Pool. Dim has been very concerned about this for a very long time. He thinks things that most of us are afraid to think, like...
I like wood.
No, that's the wrong guy.
What happens if the Trump administration does not succeed in their priorities?
Well, is their priority adding $5 trillion to the deficit and $10 trillion to the debt over a 10-year period?
If we stand on principle today and say, you know, look, I think Thomas Massey is fantastic. Thomas Massey and Rand Paul, my favorites, and they obstruct. It's what they do. And I've often disagreed with them because I do think
it's like watching somebody try to unclog a sink with a cold, uncooked hot dog. It's just sad.
I don't think we have such an easy solution to this issue. And I don't think things are always as simple as stand by your principles, stop the increase in the deficit, and we'll be good. Okay.
No, you don't, because that's what Trump said. He said it was going to be easy, and the only reason we hadn't done it so far is because we got stupid people in there. Now he's in there. He's doing the exact same thing, which cogito ergo sum, e pluribus unum, have a nice day, would mean he's stupid. Yeah, my wife says that makes him stupid.
Maybe. I don't know for sure. What I can say is I feel like if Trump doesn't get the agenda items he needs, Democrats will find a way to seize power and undo literally everything.
How can they undo things that he hasn't gotten done? We'll save that for later, stupid. But on top of that, what if he gets what he wants and they cause the damage that we've been talking about, and the Democrats seize even more power because the things he wants to do are so expensive and so useless and are actually detrimental to our economy and to the health and welfare of the citizenry? What about that one? Just factor that in. What if what he's trying to do is absolutely fucked and only benefits him and a bunch of his rich friends, and they could give a shit about the rural communities and all that kind of stuff because he's not going to run again, and their fortune is made outside the United States when he's done being president. So Don, Eric, Ivanka, it'll be a shock if they ever set foot back in the United States again after 2028, because they won't have to. They'll just be like fucking like partying like they're in Moscow all the time, maybe actually in Moscow.
So what is that saying? Don't make the perfect the enemy of the good? Or
Jesus Christ, you didn't say it was like this is about perfection or it's good. You said it's bad. He knows it's bad. Don't make perfect be the enemy of the bad. That doesn't work.
Whatever, or something like that. I'm always mixing up. But the general idea is...
I'm so glad I came here. Who can... It's okay. You know, everybody can mix up a phrase now and again, a colloquialism. I mean, Ozzy, he who laughs last is just a hand in the bush.
This is bad, but it's status quo. But it gives Trump the opportunity he needs to get a lot of stuff done. Now, I'm not...
Through the status quo, which means government works, which means that's the conduit by which you have to do things. So shut the fuck up and stop decrying the government overall and taxes and all this other stuff, because you're rooting for him to win on the court that's built. Like the tennis court or the basketball court, not the SCOTUS or something.
Saying that...
You're not saying anything. You're not saying it. This asshole is not saying anything. Tim Pool, you're not saying anything.
The end result of this is we should support the bill. I want to clarify this.
Why? Oh, wait, sorry. You're not saying you should support the bill. Fuck, these guys. That's what I call leadership.
Gives Trump the opportunity he needs to get a lot of stuff done. Now, I'm not saying that the end result of this is we should support the bill. I want to clarify this. A lot of people will say things.
It sounded, I don't know about you, it sounded like he was saying support the bill because Trump needs to win no matter what. So, fucking hell.
Tim, once again, in the middle on this. Well, it's because I don't know what to tell you, and I'm not here to tell you what to believe.
Then, Tim, guess what, asshole? That's not the middle. That's not the middle. The middle is there's a balance of things here, and I would prefer this, and I think overall it's wrong, and we should compromise and build something. That's the illusion of the middle you like to present, but that's nowhere near where you actually are. You're not even on the fucking court, buddy. You're in the fucking bleachers. You're yelling at the umpire terms you heard at a hockey game. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I'm going to weigh the pros and the cons on this one, and then you're going to have to use your judgment to make that determination.
Sorry, you're going to weigh the pros and cons, and okay, so weigh the pros and cons. Let's give us the pros and cons. Here we go. Maybe he's actually going to give us something. Here we go.
Maybe people would prefer if I was just banging my gavel. Look, I got a gavel right here, and I was like, Trump can do whatever he wants. But I'm like, that AI provision in there that says states can't regulate AI for 10 years.
Yeah, that was an attack on California.
Trump is cutting the leash on AI because we're terrified of what China might do, and it can destroy us.
Well, then why would you want a state to be able to limit AI if Chinese AI will get ahead of us and destroy us? Francie says, did Tim read the bill? Francie, you're adorable. No.
This is why I don't run for office.
That's not why. That's not why. You'd have to take off your fucking beanie.
So, my friends, Elon Musk accuses Trump of driving America into debt slavery as he escalates the war with the president.
Right. So why are you reading articles about this when he just posted all this shit?
The billionaire tech giant and former first buddy, once glued to Trump's side, bombastically claimed overnight that Trump is plunging the U.S. into debt slavery in an escalation of his war with the president. I don't think they're mad at each other, to be completely honest. But I certainly think Elon is upset over this bill.
Whatever gave you that idea? The articles you're reading about the stuff that he wrote someplace else? Maybe you'll have a better context if you actually just read it straight from where he fucking posted it, you weirdo. I don't know why this is such a hang-up, but like for somebody that just shits all over the news all the time, and then that's exactly where he runs to, especially when it's details you could get elsewhere.
They say the One Big Beautiful Bill Act passed the House last month, but is now held up in the Senate, where some Republicans agree with Musk's criticism of the legislation. While Musk opened up the pathway for criticism earlier this month, he really began tearing into his former best friend with a series of posts on X Tuesday and Wednesday. Besides his billions, Musk is also highly influential because of his notoriety in MAGA world.
Why are you reading this article? Okay, occasionally, can I make a point real quick, chat, if I may? Occasionally when something will come up, and I have to fact check something that's going on directly, or there's a story that was related to something, or a historical event, or a statistic or something, I will go and look it up so that I'm not just pulling it out of my ass for the sake of just spouting a statistic or a story, or if it is something germane to a specific lie coming from the right or something, I'll go look it up, and sometimes I will read those like chunks of those articles to you to show you what they are, just to, because it's better TV than me just putting it on the screen and go, read that, check that shit out, right? That's it. This is how he preps his fucking show. This is the show. This isn't, well, occasionally I have to look something up and throw up an article. Where's that article? I want to talk about that again. This is it. This is the whole fucking Ben Shapiro, dipshit doing a show on his laptop at Starbucks, reading the screen out loud as a format. Good fucking God.
And his control over one of the most popular social media platforms in the U.S. With 220
boring
million followers on X and
boring Tim. Boring.
Control of the algorithm, Musk can easily turn the tides against Trump and his agenda with tweaks to what his followers...
With tweaks to what his... Sorry. and his agenda with tweaks to what his followers and all of the other users can see. Tweaks? Tweets? Tweets, I think, is what they meant, not tweaks.
All
Well, maybe since he's on ketamine so much, maybe they do mean tweaks.
users can see. Indeed. He called it pork-filled. Well, let's take a look at where we're at. I think I have the tweet from Elon, but we get it. Donald Trump addressing Rand Paul's obstruction. He says Rand votes no on everything, but never has any practical or constructive ideas. His ideas are actually crazy, losers. The people of Kentucky can't stand him. This is a big growth bill. Is it? Well, let's take a look at the corporate press. Not that I trust them.
Yeah, you do. You just cited them. You read what they said. You're taking what they say as gospel, dum-dum.
NBC News reports GOP bill for Trump's agenda would add $2.4 trillion to the debt over 10 years, budget office says.
Well, then why not read what the Congressional Budget Office says and go, oh, my God, they're telling me the truth. Therefore, I must be an asshole.
The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office also found that the House passed legislation would increase the number of people without health insurance by 10.9 million by 2034.
Yeah, but don't threaten Tim with a good time.
The sweeping Republican bill for President Donald Trump's domestic agenda is projected to add $2.4 trillion over 10 years. To be fair, that's $240 billion a year. The figure is slightly higher than an earlier version of the bill, which with the CBO projected at $2.3 trillion. The Budget Office also estimated the package would increase the number of people without health insurance by 10.9 million by 2034 because of spending cuts to Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. And I'm going to tell you right now why that's not correct.
All right, let's hear it. Here goes. Some details.
Because there's no babies. So,
What? Oh, he thinks the population's going to drop that much? And so the people that need health care, namely older people, by the way, aren't going to need it. Those people are going to lose their insurance. They won't exist. In a country of 340 million people, the possibility that 10 more million people wouldn't have insurance is not possible because we don't. Our fertility rates are low. Is that the idea?
in 9 years, there's going to be substantially less people.
No, there isn't. There's going to be in 9 years. There's going to be very close to the same amount of fucking people.
I'd imagine that number would go down.
You're an idiot. No, because older people tend to need their health insurance more, stupid. It isn't about the new people. Also, by the way, you're right that there'll be fewer babies because this will also remove like prenatal care for expectant mothers and especially underprivileged mothers. And that would include like white trash moms in Eastern Kentucky and Eastern Tennessee and out through the Oregon Trail and the Appalachian Trail and Idaho and Iowa and all those places. So they'll die in childbirth. So, I guess that's one of those things you're hoping Trump wins on.
The long-awaited news score factors in a series of last-minute revisions GOP leaders made to placate holdouts before the House passed legislation last month. Changes include a higher state and local tax deduction, which is BS, by the way. Do you guys know about the SALT stuff? Basically,
yeah, tell us about the SALT stuff.
Democrat states have really high taxes. And what they're saying is, we want it to be that if you pay state taxes, you get a deduction on your federal taxes so that the tax burden is lower per person. That means that blue states, which have really high taxes,
who also pay more to the federal government than anybody else as well, and pay for the red states that leech off the blue states,
are going to basically give their people a tax break.
Right, so they can keep more of their money in the state, which you would normally be for, except it will fuck the red states that rely on them for all of their services.
And red states are going to have to foot the bill for the federal taxes.
Nope, they don't foot the bill for anything. They will just not, they'll get yanked away from the teat.
So red states are saying, why should we pay more to the federal government than you?
That's your job, because the blue states already pay more to the federal government than red states.
It's like, okay, I'm going to say this.
I'm going to say this. He's figured it out, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, I'm in favor of it. You know why? Red states need to just raise their taxes. This is what was predicted. If this rolls out, red states will just increase their taxes and tell all the people, don't worry about it, though. Because of SALT deductions, you don't got to pay those taxes to the Fed, and we get to keep it. Indeed. If that actually...
What?
happens. I doubt it. They say overall CBO and the Joint Committee on...
Yeah, sorry. Red states are not going to start producing more all of a sudden and become these, like, great sources of tax revenue for their own states, much less the federal government magically.
Taxation found that over a 10-year period, the legislation would decrease revenues by $3.7 trillion while cutting net spending by $1.3 trillion. The legislation is now in the hands of the Senate, where top Republicans want to pass a revised version by July 4th. It is unclear what changes they will make or how those are...
Jesus Christ. I can't do it. I can't, like, that's what this asshole does. He just reads articles from news sources that he decries and says are untrustworthy, but just reads them unapologetically. Just goes to him like this is, it's a trustworthy source when he reads it, but when it exists in the, in its normal environment, no. When it's just out there in the world, it's this amorphous cabal of baby-eating bullshitters. But if he needs a story, he'll just read something from NBC News or New York Times because they're reliable and the details are factually accurate. Dimple is saying magic paid. Oh. Good Lord. That's a show. By the way, it has a lot of subscribers. You should subscribe to my show so we can get my numbers up, because the only way I'm going to get to be able to, like, compete on a level playing field with some of these dickheads and end up confronting them directly is if I get my subscription numbers up. I'm not saying it's all on you, but it sort of is. So if you're out there, subscribe. Hit the subscribe right now. Do it. Do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. Just do it. Now, let's take a little sidestep away from the fact that maggots are freaking out at the government over the big piece of shit bill and go back to our friends over at our dipshit friends over at Peanut Butter Dickhead and Crowd, where I don't know where they ended up getting a Dan Bongholio glamour shot, but they managed to. What the fuck is this? Did you get this done before prom? And this is video of Epstein suicide, Epstein death bombshell dropped by Bongholio and Patel. No, there's not video of it, you dumbasses. But let's see them screw this up. Let's see if they really think this. What they mean is there's video of the prison, like the block where he is, and you can see that during the time that he, from when he was last seen to when he killed himself and after somebody discovered him, nobody else goes through there. So you can tell he was alone in his cell because nobody went past there. Whatever. Now, we've all seen, shit, go watch Hudson Hawk. You can figure out a billion ways, especially if you're a billionaire, to fix that kind of a system. But there you go. Isn't it right? It's a glamour shot. Do you get that at the mall? All right.
According to Dan Bongino and Cash Patel,
Bongholio,
there's video footage of Epstein killing himself.
No, there is not, you mishearing dipshit.
Where is it? Rob, if you can play this clip. Is this the one, Rob?
Yes, sir.
This is not the clip of him killing himself.
No.
But this is him telling us that there's a clip of it, and he's going to release it to us. Go forward, Rob.
Now, who out there thinks that Bongholio said there is video of Epstein killing himself? Who thinks that's what actually happened? Now, some of us, I've already played the video where they said this, so you know it's horseshit. But those of you who have not seen this, who thinks that these motherfuckers on this big show with millions of subscribers and a bunch of money so that they can, I guess, do the show from a decommissioned bank vault or some shit, or a train station near the men's room or wherever the fuck they are, that with all the people they have working, with all the people that are on there, that these guys are all supposed to be so fucking smart that this is actually what was said in this clip that they're referencing, and Peanut Butter Dickhead actually thinks that's how it works.
Two cases obviously are of significant public interest. I'm just telling you what we see in the file. I just want to be crystal clear on this. I am not asking anyone to believe me. I'm telling you what's there and what isn't. Right.
Well, yeah, but if you, they have to believe you unless you show them what's there and what isn't, right? You don't have to believe me. You just have to believe what I'm telling you. Right. That's what it means to believe someone or disbelieve what they're saying. You're not even a factor if I see the actual evidence, dummy. If you show me a video of something actually happening, you're no longer a part of it. You're not a part of this equation, dipshit.
There is nothing in the file at this point on the Epstein case.
At this point?
And there's going to be a disclosure on this coming shortly. We are working through there is video. That is something the public does
There's video of him killing himself.
No, not the actual act.
No,
but the entire MCC Bay, it was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this.
Okay. It doesn't bother anybody on that fucking show, on Peanut Butter Dickhead's show, that we just all watch what was said in this clip and how. Let's listen again real quick, and I'll speed through the rest of it. Let's listen again to how Peanut Butter Dickhead over here describes this video.
According to Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, there's video footage of Epstein killing himself.
Okay, that's in his written remarks. They're about to play the video that we just saw. Let's hear it again. Peanut Butter Dickhead.
According to Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, there's video footage of Epstein killing himself.
No, there isn't, and they said no such thing. Dum-dum. And it would be one thing, like, I almost expected them to cut out before he said, after he says video.
No. The entire there is video.
Right? Cut. If you stop there, you could feed this line of bullshit to everybody else there. But he literally, they ask him on the show.
That is something the public does
There's video of him killing himself.
No, not the actual act. But the entire MCC Bay, it was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this. We are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him.
Right.
There's just nobody there. So I say to people all the time, if you have a tip, let us know. But there's no DNA, there's no audio, there's no fingerprints, there's no suspects, there's no accomplices.
Yeah, I'm going with it would be $1 billion operation then.
There's no tips. There is nothing. If you have it, I'm happy to see it. There's video clear as day. He's the only person in there and the only person coming out. You can see it.
Okay, so that's him. And then there's a video of Kash Patel as Rob. If you can play that one as well, go for it.
There are.
The Epstein thing, you dealt with Maria. You said, as far as you know, he killed himself.
I'm telling you, he killed himself.
The other thing on the internet is the Epstein files. What's the answer to that?
The answer to that is the same as everything else. I'm not
fuck you.
Going to withhold information from the American public ever. But I'm also not going to rush to get it out there in a format in which they can't rely on it. So on the Epstein matter,
What do you mean a format that they can't rely on it? What are you going to give everybody like piles of still images because they can't trust a digital file? This is AI. Like, well, we printed all the frames out like the Zapruder film on 8x10s, and you can order them, just turn them sideways, and you can flicker it like a flip book, and that'll show you that nothing happened. You're like, well, how do I know that wasn't AI? Fuck you.
The other matters, we are diligently working on that, and it takes time to go through years of investigation.
It's gonna take a little time to think things over. I know. Yeah, it is.
Years of political maneuvering and years of cover-up to get the American people what they deserve. And that's what I'm going to give them on everything.
Yeah.
Why? Why would that take so long? If you have it, you have it.
Then how could you know that after saying that, then how could you know all the information given to you now that you're the new FBI guy is even valid?
Oh my God! How do you trust anybody? It's all AI. Do we live in a simulation? Maybe you're Jeffrey Epstein and we don't know. I mean, you kind of favor the dude. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe Jeff, is that you?
They've been touching it and editing it and fixing
it,
and we have to keep waiting for these videos. Guys, let's just all agree we're never going to find out, okay? You're not going to know shit. You're not going to see any video. Nothing's going to be...
Tell you what, Vinny. Tell you what. I'm running for president in 2028, and I guarantee you that all of the material that we'll put out that will not harm a victim will be released. We will use AI to scan everyone, whatever images of another person are in there that are underage or a victim of it, whatever, will just be completely blacked out like a blob. But Epstein and anybody else who's in the scene that we specify, I don't care if it's Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, or Donald Trump, you'll be able to see those people in flagrante delicto. And we're not going to... We're not going to, there'll be no pixelization, no nothing. I'm going to drop it right in your fucking lap, buddy. Because I don't care. But Trump does because he was his fucking wingman for a quarter century.
Only solace you're going to have in your heart of hearts is that God takes care of anybody that was messing with children. That's it. We're not.
I'm not voting anymore. I'm just going to church, right? Because just be careful around youth pastors, Vinny, especially right-wing youth pastors. I'm just saying, if the Epstein thing upsets you, wait till he finds out. Wait till he finds out about the youth pastors.
Not going to get any justice. These poor kids that were freaking raped and some of them probably murdered and God knows what else, sex slaves and whatever, they're never going to get justice because
Kash Patel and Bongholio are hiding it.
That's how the system is freaking set up.
No, the system is your ass. It's not the system. It's people. These are people, and these people are participating. There's no system. There's not a big fucking evidence machine where you got to go up and only if you have the Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged gold coins you can put in it does the evidence come out.
And that's how these disgusing demon pedophiles work, Pat. You're never going to see it, Brendan.
What do you think about this?
Never.
No, they run the world. Unfortunately, it seems like
they run the world.
The sad truth is that pedophiles are the most powerful people in the world somehow. I mean, with the Franklin cover-up, that was the same thing as the Epstein, the same model. That nothing happened with that. It was ran by political elites allegedly. Then the Finders cult that was grabbing young kids and they had underground tunnels and stuff in D.C. allegedly. Nothing happened with that. Same thing like the intelligence. Told people to back off both times with Epstein. Intelligence told people to back off. Jim Acosta said that. So, for whatever weird reason, it's like with Kash Patel's talking there, he literally looks like he's doing a skit where he's trying to act like he's like nervous and being evasive. So he looks terrified. Dan Bongino looks like he's in physical pain every time he goes on camera. So,
yeah, but we all enjoy that though. That's okay.
Feel bad for Dan. He got kind of like swept into this. He didn't want to say no to Trump. I get that. So he's in a tough spot. Kash, yeah, like I think he had no idea what he was in for. But yeah, it seems like the sad truth is that for some crazy reason, the most powerful people in the world are pedos.
Tom, thoughts?
It wouldn't have anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein's best friend being president of the United States, would it? And you guys all voted for him.
I just look at two guys I respect. I respect Kash. I respect Dan.
Why? If they would bend to a system like Vinny just described, why would you respect them? If it actually exists the way he says, where in the world could you muster up any respect for either of these dipshits?
And I look at them and they don't look comfortable. And
that's what we're worried about. I'm worried about their comfort. I know you are. I think we're all concerned about their comfort. We should send Kash and Bongholio a pillow.
It's like, I feel like when we looked at Biden.
Thank you, Deanne.
That doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. He looks like an older gentleman that is in the throes of dealing with something. And when you look at them, the eyes don't lie. The human intuition doesn't lie.
Wait, sorry. Bongholio?
I feel like when we looked at Biden, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. He looks like an older gentleman that is in the throes of
fuck does this have to do with Biden? He's not president. He's never going to be president again. He's too old. That's how it works. Trump is president right now, and Trump was running buddies with Jeffrey Epstein. Deal with it. Fucking stop dancing around this bullshit, blaming everything on Biden.
Dealing with something. And when you look at them, the eyes don't lie. The human intuition doesn't lie. And I look at this and
Yeah, it kind of does. I mean, again, you guys thought Trump would be a good choice. That based on your intuition.
Gosh, you guys don't look comfortable, and you've been 3 weeks now, you're trying to sell the story, and you just don't look comfortable. And I'm not picking on the integrity of people.
Here's a real quick thing, and this is not in defense of either of these assholes. I hope they get irritated by every maggot they run into, but maybe they look uncomfortable because they're telling the truth, and they're being defensive against the people that sent them there. The people like Vinny and the people like you and Peanut Butter Dickhead and Glenn Beck and all these motherfuckers who are giving them shit all the time. Like, where is this stuff? You told us it was there. I told my listeners it was there. And what do you mean there's nothing? That's where they are. That's why they look like that. They're not uncomfortable because of me. They're not uncomfortable because of the public. They're uncomfortable because every time they step out the fucking front door, a maggot is yelling, "Where are the Epstein files, you fucking creep? You're in on it, you pedo." I guarantee it.
That have been on the podcast. We know these guys, but you don't look comfortable. And it makes me very uncomfortable that you don't look comfortable.
Yes, you look uncomfortable about how uncomfortable they are. It is true. There's a level of discomfort here that I'm very comfortable with, if I do say so myself.
And I go back to the following. Between the Warren Commission and a couple years
and the moon landing
later, there's a portion of Kennedy's skull had a serial number on it. It's gone. There's a portion of Kennedy's brain that is gone.
But did it have a serial number? I just wondered. And did they match?
There's other artifacts that were from the Bethesda from the autopsy. They were gone. And so it's like they cleaned everything up. It is a absolute historic fact that they cleaned things up after the Kennedy assassination. So if there were some people that are on...
Yeah, but that was fucking like construction paper and scissors technology at the time. In the middle of a Cold War, making really difficult decisions, whatever. There's all this evidence, all that evidence is gone. His head, that chunk of his head is gone. That's gone forever. All these files that you're talking about allegedly still exist. They kind of have to. And they're somewhere in either Donald Trump's possession, in the FBI's possession, or in the fucking ocean.
On that list that don't want to be that list to be read out loud in front of a camera of the public, then...
Yes, and one of them is the President of the United States.
They're in there scrubbing, and I feel like the longer anything goes, Pat, there's opportunities to scrub, and history shows us that criminals in high places are able to get in and scrub. So if there's something there and there's people on that list...
Get in? He's already in.
And we know there are. The longer this goes, it's just time to scrub, and I'm very uncomfortable looking at two guys that appear very uncomfortable.
Thank you. Excellent work. Way to fill time. Did somebody have to go and take a shit and you were just the one unfortunately tasked with having to talk until they came back from the bathroom?
I only have one question, and that's how much do you believe Kash Patel and Dan Bongino?
Oh, this guy, by the way, he's in charge of running interference for Bongholio and Patel.
Because Dan Bongino and Kash came out and said, I know that you don't want to believe this. I know that there's a lot of people who think otherwise.
Vinny.
But I'm telling you, Epstein killed himself. Now, there's a lot of people who are like, all right, case closed, buddy. I guess I'll stop asking questions now, which I totally get. But...
Was that a sarcastic character or...
I said this the last time.
Because that's kind of you. That's who he is.
These guys had a lot of credibility just a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Everyone was rooting for these guys. Everyone loved these guys. Everyone loved Dan Bongino. Everyone thought Kash Patel was the man. All of a sudden, they're liars?
No, everyone didn't. You guys did. You're the suckers. Don't lay it off on us.
Which one is it?
They're stuck.
Is it?
No, they're stuck. They're not liars.
In your opinion.
They got
in your opinion.
Adam,
There's other weird things around this.
It's the system. You gotta understand. It's the system. They don't have a choice. They're just cogs in the wheel of the system. They don't have it at this point. They're basically automatons. Their moral clarity has been thrown out the window, and they are trapped in a sea of their own moral compromise. It's the system.
So, but let's separate two things.
Okay.
Is child pedophilia and trafficking children
Horrible.
a problem and disgusting and
Big
horrible
problem.
and needs to be identified and called out and prosecuted to the full extent? 100%, 100%.
Put that to the side.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. But put it over here. Child trafficking, the rape of children. Yeah.
Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, Epstein, it's a separate issue to me.
Okay.
No, it isn't. You don't get to separate it. They're the ones who actually have the information.
So not always, they need to find the guy. Okay, we get that. But
no, you don't.
In this situation, don't you think these guys have credibility?
No.
We're either saying that they're
Yeah, that was good. Was it Vinny who just went, no?
liars or not.
No, they're stuck. They're not allowed to say the truth.
There's a difference.
Yeah, they're not allowed to say the truth. They want to say the truth desperately, but they're not allowed to say the truth because they work for Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. It's not a cabal. He's a block and a half away.
Lying at him and
So you're telling me
they came
that
into
a month ago they had ultimate credibility and now they have none.
I didn't say that. I didn't say.
No, a month before that, you were buying their bullshit, and now that they have to tell the truth because they can't bullshit anymore because the facts don't back up their bullshit, and they're stuck. And if they just make up some bullshit, it has real world consequences as opposed to just being on a podcast and blathering shit to anybody who will listen, that they have to tell the truth. And now you feel like a sucker and you're too weak to admit it.
No, hold on. No, I'm not saying
no,
that.
they
I'm
intended to do it a month ago, but now they're not allowed to because there's powerful forces that are stopping them from doing it.
Yeah, the powerful forces, like facts.
Exactly that. They made promises.
So you're saying that when anyone gets to Washington, they get corrupted, they get bought, they have to sell out.
No, Adam, not corrupt.
So you're saying that everybody is basically not immune
not
to
corrupted, but what
the
makes
swamp of DC.
Adam, what makes somebody? Adam, here's the thing. They want justice. I've hung out with Dan Bongino. He's a G. We've met Cash Patel. That's not that. They made these promises, and I understand that. But then once you show up to the dance and you see everything, and now you're changing the tune and you can't say it. We're not saying that they're lying. We're just saying.
Yeah, you kind of are. I mean, they have to be lying for any of this to be a problem for you. That's the problem. The other guy is basically arguing like they have credibility, so I'm just going to buy that they got in there and they found new information and oops, we were wrong the whole time and we were all suckers to believe it. And once we got a friend in there, like, actually, that's actually how it does work. I take it all back.
And they made a great point that the most powerful...
How can't they have it both ways? They will. I mean, you could argue that's what this fucking show has devolved into. Peanut Butter Dickhead's entire show has just been this fucking ping pong match about Epstein.
Powerful people in the world, some of them, are not only pedophiles, but the people that control them, that have them on camera doing that demonic shit, have them by the balls, and those people run the show.
Well, then if you're being blackmailed because of that, then you don't really run things. Because you can't make decisions. Someone else makes that decision for you. So... I guess what you're arguing is that the pedophiles are the victims here. Good Lord.
They would probably they would probably threaten to kill them for exposing this stuff. Like there's the guy who.
Then take it. Wait a minute. If you're the head of the FBI, or you were a fucking Mongolia was a Secret Service agent. He was willing to die for George W. Bush, right? If you're willing to die for that, why wouldn't you be willing to die to like destroy a baby fucking cabal? What? If there was ever something worth dying for real, if like getting that truth out cost you your life, like I can't think of a more heroic person in the world.
Was the CIA director told a senator to back off at one of these situations with the Franklin cover-up. He said there's powerful forces that will kill you if you continue to pursue this. And then,
oh my God, Jenny Faye Muppet, thank you so much. Oh, you turned 50 tomorrow. Oh, that's great. 1 year anniversary is official sparkling meeting twice as highlight last year. Thanks for braving the crazies with us. Your gift to True Light. Oh, thank you so much. And happy birthday. I think it's always better to wish someone a happy birthday before their birthday because, you know, if you wish them happy birthday on their birthday, it's already in process. Maybe you missed the first, top of it or whatever, and they didn't have a chance to have a happy birthday because you missed the first thing. So I think whenever you know somebody's birthday is coming up, say happy birthday because you hope they do have one. It's a technicality. So happy birthday, Jenny Faye. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Jenny Faye Muppet. Happy birthday to you. Honk.
And just for saying that, for warning that guy winded up dying.
So I'm just...
He wound up dying. Everybody dies. Just listen to Joni Ernst.
You're a believer or not? I'm not flip-flopping on Cash and Dan...
Yes, you are.
Bongino.
Who's flip-flopping? We're not saying they're lying.
We're not flip-flopping. We're saying that they started out as good people and they've been absorbed into the Borg of child fucking super billionaires. And
we're not saying they're lying, Adam.
You just did.
I did not say that they're lying. Rewind the tape.
So good. This is so good. Did you guys think that this would be what these guys would be talking about in May of Trump's first year of a second term? Do you think that that's what they thought they'd be talking about? So good. I feel like roasting marshmallows on the heat that's happening.
I never said that they were lying. They made promises, but now they've been talked to, Adam, and they can't release it.
Well,
they're being told not to say it.
He said that Epstein
three
killed
times. He
himself.
said they're stuck.
Stuck is not lying.
He said Epstein killed himself. Do you believe Epstein killed himself?
I don't know, Adam. I haven't seen the video because we're
Look,
never.
nobody's seen the video, Hoss.
He has. He's seen it 1,000 times. Okay. Adam, they're sitting here. By the way, this is from Pam Bondi's mouth.
Do you think
they're,
Epstein
hold
killed
on.
himself?
I
Just
don't
answer the
know.
question.
I don't know. I don't know, Adam, and that's the problem.
All of a sudden you
because
don't know.
they know. They know. And here's the problem.
They kind of don't. They just know that nobody entered or exited the block from that camera during the time that he killed himself. So, I mean, how much, like, what, $1 billion? Let's say you're worth $16 billion. How much would you pay to get, maybe, here's when I think maybe they didn't. They gave you, maybe your lawyer slipped you something. How about this? That you inject it in yourself and it lowers your pulse rate for a certain period of time, which there are drugs that do that make you appear to be dead. You pay the EMTs that come in, who they're going to call for, in there. You pay the guards and stuff to lay off and just let him die. Don't give him CPR. Don't try to, because fuck this guy. And they would easily do that. Like, I'm going to give you 10 grand. Just don't touch him. Just let him fucking die. Don't try to save him. And what really, they just don't want you to destroy his heartbeat while it's beating so low. They just want you to come in, untie him, leave him there, fuck him. And then when they take him out, they shoot him with adrenaline and he comes back to life. And he's gone. How about that? That's still a possibility with that camera angle shit being this way. It is more likely that he's not dead at all. Just saying.
Madam, there's FBI agents right now from Pam Bondi's mouth watching tens of thousands of hours of Epstein and his boys having sexual underage kids, okay? Tens of thousands. Where are the arrests? How much research do you need? There's a camera. Oh, there's a guy. That's Fred. Go arrest his ass. What are we doing?
Yeah, fucking Fred. Right. Why are we not after Fred? That son of a bitch. And while you're at it, get Barney too. How about this? How about a lot of the videos that you're talking about, they don't have access to them. They just have Epstein and his victims and then stuff he bought off the internet that he owns, and they're going through that he didn't participate in because she said there's a bunch of child porn, him and underage girls and child porn, and that is probably stuff he watched in all of his stuff, but all the stuff that involves all of his clientele got magically destroyed is the issue. Even though there's tens of thousands of hours of the stuff he recorded himself with Ghislaine and whoever else, like, Diddy videos.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, and the suicide.
How long is it going to go?
And the suicide.
Until Trump is impeached or leaves office and can be tried in a court of law over these things. Till then, till you guys realize that he was Jeffrey Epstein's only friend.
It doesn't even matter. Like, who cares? He probably did kill himself, but it doesn't even matter. Like, what matters is that they're letting all those people keep doing what they were doing before. So, like, they don't seem to either be interested in it or they don't seem to be able to pursue it because of whatever threat.
Is this guy big on consonants, or do they just kind of roll on? Is that because I grew up around guys like that in Kentucky, where they just kind of breeze past all the hard consonants? Yeah.
The best point you've made all day, Brendan, is that separating the actual issue from the Hey,
asshole, they're failing on both. I got news for you. Whether he killed himself or not is the least of your worries. It's the fucking fact that Trump is definitely behind not releasing the files.
Look over here, Epstein situation. Killed himself, not killed himself.
Is he wearing a fucking Kabbalah string? What kind of hippy-dippy bullshit Marianne Williamson craziness is going? A Kabbalah string? Are you shitting me? I thought these guys were bootstrappers.
There, what was going on? Did he have a roommate? To me, that's all just basically a mirage for the bigger problem that's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's an airplane.
What the hell's going on?
Yeah, it's a plane. That's what happens when you're on an airport. It does nothing for me.
It's a big one.
But listen, when you get the...
That's awesome. So he rented part of a hangar to do his show in? Is that what they did? They just found some stuff on like a local airfield, and the planes go by. Yeah.
Job and you get in. When you get a job and you get in, nobody has a clue what happens until you get in.
Nobody knows. And you get in there. So basically, Trump was lying. He's still lying. He knew. He was in before. He absolutely knows. So why you trusted him on that whole I think I'd release that stuff, but maybe I won't. I don't know. There's a lot of fake stuff in there.
Everyone knows. Everybody acts hard until you're on the front lines. What did Mike Tyson say? Everybody acts hard until what?
You get punched in the mouth.
Listen, this is
something like that. Face, mouth, whatever. Kids, how much are the paints? $2. How much are the brushes? $3.50. How much is that together? $5.50.
Different game they're in. They're on the inside, and whether that's going to hurt their credibility when they leave and what's going to happen, all this other stuff, I don't know if that's going to happen. I think Dan seems like a very straight up guy, but they both have a tough.
Yeah, he's straight up lying to you.
Job, and we wish him nothing but the best. We hope they.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, because the best situation is that he. If he discovers a cabal of child predators, the best thing to do would be to stop it. But apparently you're like, he can't stop it. That's part of the system. He'll end up getting killed or something. Or they'll release the tapes they have on him.
Come through with the promises that they made. And if they do, a lot of the people that voted for it want to see that stuff. If you believe the future looks bright.
I got to wear the shades.
And you
got to buy our hats and our glasses and our valuetainment. Get this a pillow.
Live in Florida, Texas, California.
Oh, they got the specialty hats, which aren't selling. He's been selling these for a couple of weeks. They made the future looks bright. Their hats that say Florida and Texas and shit.
New York. In that order, by the way, of the hats. The hats are available for your state where you get to wear future looks bright.
Oh, I do? I get to? This is amazing. Lucky me.
And on the site has your state on it.
What? If I don't live in one of those 4 states?
I think the Florida numbered hats, there's 3 left on the numbers for Florida, but the rest of them, there's a few left for you to go order. Rob, do you have a
few hundred
video on this or no with the hats?
Yep. Yeah. Roll the video. It's premium. They filmed this. This is choice.
Press the video on this here. You can go and play it.
Yeah, play it. It's just sweet.
And it tells you.
There's the table, and there's another table, and there's like a gray background.
The cover.
Look at that. I don't know if you've ever seen a bill cap before. This is a. Yeah, get that future looks bright. Their valuetainment Florida hat.
Future looks bright. Vitamin logo on the other side. You got Florida, California, Texas, and New York.
Fuck the flyover states. Jesus Christ. Coastal elites and the rich. That's what we're doing. What an asshole. So this is, there's a lot of this shit going around, obviously. And now Trump was participating in some sort of like soiree thing or something. What the fuck? Did it actually play through? Did he actually do it? What's this? Is this? And cut to this. See if, where is he? Oh yeah, here you go. There's something like he did some sort of. Hold on. I don't know what the fuck. This is the Trump's. They go Trump participating in some sort of like. What's it called? Participates in summer soiree. Swarthy, isn't it?
This big beautiful bill.
Don't care.
Elected officials.
What's this with a fucking Evita bullshit? Hey everybody, that's a good one, huh? They had to do this for him because he hasn't been outdoors in like 3 days because he's been hiding ever since the drone attack from Ukraine on Russia. We'll get to that in just 1 second.
What a nice group. Look at them all coming back now. They were way out at that fence and they're coming back. They're running. Don't fall, please, nobody.
Because he was late.
We had an administration that fell a lot, and we don't want to have that. We don't want to have any of that. Well, I'm delighted to welcome to the White House the thousands of proud American patriots, and that's what you are, you're patriots. You know, we've never done this before. You know that, right? This is a first. They didn't do it. The previous administration wouldn't have thought of doing it. But we're going
What do you mean, holding up basically a political rally on the Capitol grounds like a douchebag and basically selling access? No, they wouldn't have.
to do it for 4 more years. I don't know, maybe 8 more years. I don't know.
Not happening.
But we love you all. You're really amazing, successful people all, and you just gave your heart and your soul, and we won every swing state. We won the popular vote by millions. We won everything you can win. And now we have a
And now it's our contest to lose.
successful country. Doesn't it feel different? Different, so different. So many people say, go away, and all over the world they say it feels different. The whole world feels different. So it's an honor. It's a great honor, believe me, and we should all be happy about it because we're bringing it back like nobody would have thought possible. The event has, and I just tell you, it was really the brainchild of a few of the people that happen to be in the audience. I won't bother to embarrass them by introducing them. They don't need that, but they just had this idea, and I loved it immediately upon hearing it. But this is the largest crowd so far that we can imagine to be on this lawn in many, many years. This is a big crowd. There's a lot of people, and this is all a group of people that love what we're doing. They love MAGA, Make America Great Again. And,
Good Lord.
That's what we're doing.
And we're doing here. What was this thing I was saying? Because I'm not going to walk down there and talk to you assholes. I'm going to do it from the fucking balcony. Like a South American dictator.
So I want to thank you all, and very particularly have some good food there. I know a certain place serves food, and I think you're liking it. I like it, but I think you're liking it a lot. I want to express my gratitude.
McDonald's. Yeah, you go all the way to the White House, you get to eat fucking McDonald's.
To just about all of my members in the cabinet who are here. They are here in great numbers. I didn't know what they were saying. They said, I'll see you tonight. I'll see you tonight. And
he didn't know this was fucking happening.
I've been so busy between Iran, Russia, China, and every other problem that we were left that I'm saying, what the hell is happening tonight? And then I said, I'm seeing a lot of thousands of my friends tonight. But I want to thank the members of the cabinet in particular. They've been unbelievable. We have a great cabinet. You see the results every single day.
No, you don't.
Let me also give a big round of applause and welcome to our new White House interns. This is the very first day on their job.
Oh, okay.
Really great.
That's what this is. This is the
Julian
intern
Nichols.
gathering.
Where's Julian? Where are you, Julian? Are you out there someplace? I think so. Where is Julian? Where? Oh, look at him. Oh, is that? Wow. Good. You ever hear of the great Jack Nicklaus? This is his grandson, right? I immediately said, get him on board because he's got great genes. You can't get better than that. And, you know, especially so your grandmother, okay? Barbara, who's fantastic. So good luck.
Good Lord. Genius. Yeah, this is sweet. This is I don't think anybody else could hope. Well, this is what you wait in line for. This is your dream come true. You get to make it to the White House so you can eat McDonald's and have this dickhead talk to you from a fucking balcony. Now, granted, it's better than him breathing on you up close, so.
You're going to do very well. Thank you, Julian. Very good. Say hello.
Good. Yeah, say hello.
I wish I could play golf like Jack Nicklaus. It just didn't work out that way. But 6 months ago, we had a nation that was as cold as ice. It was cold. The whole.
Well, we were willing to sacrifice our love. I think that, shows, taste and breeding on our part.
The world was laughing at us, and they're not laughing anymore. That I can
Not at the country. They're laughing at you.
tell you now, because of the people here tonight, we have the hottest, most talked about country anywhere in the world. I went to the Middle East. We went to Qatar, Saudi Arabia. We went to UAE. We went to 3 stops. We brought back $5.1 trillion. Think of that. 5.1. They ordered massive amounts of military equipment, regular equipment, 200 Boeing aircraft, and we got one for free for the nation. You've been hearing that.
Nope.
United States Air Force got.
Hey, asshole, we don't get to fly it. So knock it off. And it's useless as it's an insecure plane. I mean, here's what you should do. You should convert that plane into a transport medical vessel for underprivileged people who need medical care and have to be flown across the country. Pilots volunteer their time all the time to, make trips, and you could have a giant plane that did it all the time and just write it off. That would be fantastic. He won't do it, but that's it. When I become president, that's what we're going to do with that fucking plane. That plane is going to become the civilian medical transport plane. That's all it's safe to do. And what it will do is it will, when we find out that there are cancer patients that need to be taken from one part of the country to another that have like elaborate systems that they have to be hooked up to or whatever, they can fly them fucking as is in this thing. Just roll them right up in there. Just convert it into a flying hospital. In the case of a large disaster, you could fly it into an area after a tornado or something like that and basically set up a hospital in it because it's that big. How about that? What do you think, chat room? You think that's a better idea than just painting it and calling it Air Force Deuce? That's what I'll do with it. Yeah, there you go. We'll add that to my list of promises as president. That and releasing the entirety of the Epstein files, with all the victims blacked out by AI, so nobody has to actually watch it to personally scrub them out, because that's damaging to the person that has to do it as well. So that'd do it.
Free. I say I'd like one because we need it as Air Force One until the other ones are done.
Bullshit. Fly the plane you got.
And they said, we would be pleased to give you. So they gave us a Boeing 747 for the...
Yes, which I guess they could, if they wanted to, make it fall out of the sky while you're in it anytime they want to. Right? Clearly.
The United States Air Force, and it's just incredible. The press picked it up and they said, he got a plane. I didn't get a plane. They got a plane. But that's the way it is. You're going to get to know as you deal with the fake news, and then eventually you'll get to love them. Maybe. I doubt it. Actually, I doubt it. But I want to just tell you some of the numbers that just came out. Rasmussen, a majority of Americans now believe our country is on the right track for the first time in 28 years. Think of that. First time in 28 years. That's something. And think of the achievement. And we did that in...
Yeah, and Rasmussen. Compared to China, are we on the right track? Right. Yes.
4 months. We haven't been here long. 4 months. And we're going to do a lot better than that. But who would think that for 28 years they thought we were on the wrong track? Because I know one thing, that 4 years ago, during our term, we were on the right track. We were doing a great job. And we...
No, they felt it then, too. And he's rewording the question so he can get an answer he likes because he works for you, not to inform people.
We had one of the most successful terms ever. Then we had a little problem where they rigged an election, and then we came back. And this is bigger, better, stronger than ever before. This one is far bigger than it would have been. This is really something what's happened. We've created over 500,000 new jobs in a short period of time.
Nope.
Secured nearly $15 trillion, new investments that...
I love how he just stacks everything. Everything's just ×3, and all of it's just even the Apple money is what they invest regularly. They just told him what the number was.
Are going into our country. And if you notice, the inflation report came out this morning. We're at about 2% inflation. Can you believe it?
Real quick. Current annual inflation is 2.3%. Now it's the closest been to the Federal Reserve's 2% target since post-pandemic inflation surge began in 2021. Consumers pay more close attention to cumulative inflation. Prices are now 23.6% more expensive today than they were before the coronavirus. Federal Reserve cut interest rates at a full percentage point across 3 consecutive meetings in 2024, but officials are taking a more cautious approach in 2025 as price pressures stay sticky and Donald Trump's tariff policies threaten to reignite inflation. That's the other thing, too. It's like... people stopped buying shit, so inflation goes down when the number of goods goes down.
Importantly, because the people were devastated, the last administration, in my opinion, the most unsuccessful administration maybe in the history of our country.
Well, yeah, because you think infrastructure is terrible and people don't deserve the services their government should give them.
Grocery prices went through the roof. Well, grocery prices now are down. You remember they were talking about eggs. My first week in office, the press was screaming about eggs. Eggs have gone up 287%. I said, I'm sorry, I just got here. And the eggs went up. Now the eggs are down at the same price they were. We got them all the way down. And we had 3 weeks ago for Easter, we had an egg hunt, an egg roll, they called it. And they said, sir, could you order, a couple of months ago, could you order plastic eggs? I said, we're not ordering plastic eggs. And by the time we had the event, eggs were all the way down. But think of it, grocery prices are down, gasoline prices are down, and they were down just in time. $1, we had numerous states, $1.98 a gallon, just in time for Memorial Day weekend. How about that? Good timing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this all inures to you because you're all with us. This is a family. This is really a family. So when I do good, you do good. When we do good, we do good together. And that's the way I want it. Incomes are soaring, and in April, we achieved the largest drop in consumer prices, the largest increase in consumer confidence, both of them.
Bullshit.
In many, many years. In one case, we've never had such a drop. It's never been like this. We've never had this kind of success.
Oh, by the way, there was a rising consumer confidence when Trump first came in because people were buying his bullshit, and then after the fucking Tariff Tuesday, it went in the shitter again. And it keeps like bumping up when he pulls the tariffs back. So because they crater so much, they go back up, and he takes credit for like consumer confidence is up because you cratered it last week. It's still below what it was the week before.
I just hope it keeps going. You know, you do need a little luck too. You know that. And sometimes you need a little prayer, maybe all the time. We need a little bit of a prayer.
We need a little bit of a prayer? That's not how prayer works.
We're going to keep it going. In a single month, we also cut the trade deficit in half by 50%. Do you believe that one? You don't hear that too much on the news.
Yeah, that's because people stopped buying shit.
They don't like to tell you those things. In a matter of weeks, we slashed the number of illegal border crossings released into the United States down to practically nothing. 3 people got in. 3. We had hundreds of thousands, and 3 people equates to 99.999%. How's that, good? I couldn't reach 100%, I'm sorry. And of the 3 people, I have to tell you, 2 of them were medical emergencies, okay? So I'm going to say 1 person got in. That was a piece of work, I guess. I'd like to meet that guy. I'd like to meet the guy that got in.
What?
Peacetime enlistment.
No, you wouldn't. Because you're a germaphobe and you don't like immigrants.
Numbers. This is something we're all really proud of. It's a big deal. Peacetime enlistment numbers for every branch of our military, every single branch, are at the highest levels in modern history. And 7 months ago, we had the worst recruit. Think of this.
Oh, that's because there are less civilian jobs, right? Yeah, because federal jobs, because families have lost their federal jobs, but also a lot of civilian jobs, and in a lot of areas, the way you get out of that poverty is by joining the military. So they know they're not going to cut the military, so it's a great way to guarantee that you'll have an income in an area that's going to be decimated by other cuts from the Trump administration. So I can see that, yeah.
This is done in 6 or 7 months. 7 months ago, we had the worst numbers in recorded history. Nobody wanted...
Yeah, because there were real jobs available and people didn't feel like they needed to join the military just to make a living.
To join the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard. Nobody wanted. Or our police. Our police are likewise through the roof. 6, 7 months ago, they couldn't fill a position. You couldn't fill it in the military. Now it's hot as a pistol. We have the best...
That's his new phrase, hot as a pistol. It's very, like, 1978?
Numbers, think of that. The best numbers in a short period of time in modern history. And that's something...
Yeah, still the growth point from the Biden administration.
I'm very proud of.
All the wages that went up had to do with Social Security benefits going to a group of people that were denied them for years. And the biggest leap forward came from March to April.
And that's because the people of our country, you love our country, you were devastated to see what was happening, and now you're thrilled to see what's happening because we have a hot one and we love it. We've achieved more in 4 months than most administrations have achieved in 4 years.
Well, from a pump and dump scheme standpoint, sure. Your rich friends have achieved more in stealing from regular investors than anybody else. I'll give you that, sure.
Or 8 years, and none of this would have been possible without you. You're the ones that are really doing it. You're the ones that are making it happen.
The interns?
You really are.
That explains it. The decision is being made by people who can't even get a job doing that thing. They work for free.
And someday, one of you, maybe 2 of you or 3 of you, will be standing right here saying very similar words. I hope you're saying similar words.
Well, I mean, the order will be better, and of course, the sentence structure overall.
But that's a real possibility because there really is this greatness in this crowd. There's greatness. You might not even know that, but there's greatness in this crowd.
Thanks.
The caliber of talent we've assembled is unparalleled. This is really the...
It is. It's unparalleled. Hold on. We got to... I don't know if he...
They tried to hook up wire to copper, and it can't be done.
Right, that's true.
We're going to have it cauterized by Congress.
That's right. Yeah, if he's got a boil or something.
Strongest, most talented team that we've had, and I think that this government has had in a long time and maybe ever.
That's what was it? Hold on.
I really think this could. This is really the caliber of talent we've assembled is unparalleled. This is really the.
It is unparalleled.
Strongest, most talented team that we've had, and I think that this government has had in a long time and maybe ever. I really think this could be the best team. We worked hard on it, and just...
And Washington, D.C. lawn crowds are the greatest audiences in the world.
In just 135 days, we've hired over 3,200 patriots to deliver on the mandate that we received in November.
I'm so glad you're not having a big, bloated administration and you're paring it down to the absolute minimum. 3,000, you say?
November 5th, we want to go down as one of the most important days in the history of our country. That's Election Day. We're going to...
Oh, I see. Is that what that was? I was confused. Yeah. But I always forget when Arbor Day is.
Make it the most important day. And as of tonight, we filled 91% of our political appointments. And I'll tell you, we have a waiting...
That they presented, by the way, which is why he's using a percentage and not the actual number, because he keeps having to pull people. And there are a bunch of people that they haven't even nominated for the positions yet because they don't have anybody, or the person that they have, they know won't make it through the Senate.
List. Likewise, we have a big waiting list of people that want to come over, work here with you, work in...
That's what I'm talking about. We got 91% of the people we put through have gotten through. The Matt Gaetz of the world, obviously, that was a little hiccup there. But most of the people that we still need to fill real positions, not interns and other shit, but actual cabinet positions doing actual work, we have no fucking idea who that's going to be. And everybody that gets suggested to him is somebody that would never make it past the Senate.
White House, every single department, every single agency has a waiting list of people that want to come in and be with us.
No, there's a waiting list of roles that need to be filled, and you're not doing the homework yet because you're fucking golfing.
The Department of Veterans
Not that I care, because I'm not in a hurry for you to fill those positions with people you actually like.
Affairs has achieved already 100% staffing, all with people that we want. Really great people.
Yeah, those are the people you just hire. Everybody does that. You don't get extra points. It's 4 months into your fucking presidency.
Department of Defense, Commerce, and Treasury is over 90% of the political hires. They're complete. It's a record at this time, so early. And the
No, it isn't.
Departments of Homeland Security, Health and Human Services, Labor are all over and up to about 95% already. So that's incredible. I want to thank the great Chief of Staff, most powerful woman.
Tell us that your part of the hire is about 8 people.
Anywhere in the world, they say. She got the most powerful woman in the world. One phone call and a group of people, I better not say it. I was going to say one phone call and the country is wiped out, but we're not going to say that.
Jesus.
Because we're a peace-loving nation. We are a peace-loving nation. Susie Wiles, where are you, Susie?
Yes, the actual president.
There she is. No, she's great. And Sergio, thank you
Yeah, she's basically his nurse.
for the great job that you did. I appreciate it, Sergio. Sergio Gore. They have done a really amazing job. Susie, I'll tell you what, she's the first woman chief of staff in the history of our country. And I'm surprised to hear that. And I watch those men, and she watches over them, and if they get a little bit out of line, they may be big shots defense. They may be at commerce. They may be the biggest. They're scared of her. They're afraid of her. They don't want her coming after them.
He's afraid of her.
But no, she's been incredible. First woman chief of staff in the history of our country. Isn't that great? I'm surprised to hear that, actually, but that's the way it is. But most of
I didn't hire her because she ran my campaign, and isn't that what a chief of staff does? And she's basically just a campaign person.
importantly, let me thank all of the appointees for your tireless efforts to.
Okay, this is boring. He's just going to go through and chit chat. I do want to show something real quick because somebody was bringing this up earlier, the Operation Spiderweb thing, and I wanted to point out a couple of things because for those of you that don't know, the Ukrainians set up these trucks with drones in the top. And so this is footage of it hitting, striking these giant bombers. This is, I think, 1,000 miles inside Russia. Well, they didn't fly all the way across the country. They came in these trucks, and they like the structure of these trucks was there was a battery system and a guide system and a transmission system so that they could relay through it to control these things via satellite. And then the top of it opens up, and these drones would come out of the top and fly around. Some of them fly up directly. Others are literally, there's like an ejection system that chucks it. Yeah, sorry. Oh, gross. Trump's golf club received 18 health code violations in May inspection. Well, so they've got it down. Anyways, these are the, let's see, the Russian airfields. This is other places they hit. These are the trucks. So after, by the way, the trucks themselves blew up after that fact. Let me show you kind of the genius of this. But this is, there's been a few...
Ukrainian engineers...
So
launching system disguise.
We showed this thing to you earlier, but the box inside there that they were showing is made to look like prefab housing with like generators and stuff that you would use for when you pull all this stuff out and you basically open up this prefab house and throw the walls up and off you go. But it was really a charging and transmission statement for these drones that were under the shielding, so you couldn't see them if they ran through one of the scanners. They drove them into these countries, into Russia from different countries. The map they show, they're all coming from Ukraine, but that's not the case. A lot of them came in from Kazakhstan and other ways. They did a big circuitous route. That's why it took them like 18 months to plan this whole thing. But they would park it nearby, and then they just sat there for a long period of time. In some cases, over like a couple of months. And then all at once, they all took off. They opened these things up, and you'll see like the ones fly up, but then there's these other ones that kind of get flicked out is the other way they sent it. They go, so the shipping trucks went there. They got about a 2-mile range, so they have to get that close. They're designed to just fly in, and then boom. They hit all these Tu-95s. They hit the radar planes. It's just, there's no other way to talk about it except just genius. Incredible stuff. So they sent a bunch of these trucks that were designed, that were already in Russia, that were built elsewhere. Some cases they flew the drones to them. The drones were picked up and put in there, and then they were shipped through. It's pretty secret how it all happened, but they came in more than likely, some of them up and through Belarus and some through Kazakhstan because they went so far into the country. And they went this deep into Russia. 117 drones took off from all of these vehicles, managed to blow up what's effectively 40 of these giant 40 of their bombers, which is 32% of their total bombers that they have. And and that's assuming the rest of them even fucking work. A lot of them were also damaged. Ones that weren't destroyed outright were, effectively put out of commission for a long period of time. If they even have the crew or the technical people to repair them to that extent, they might have people who could do a little bit of work on them. But, if it's factory level work, they don't have the resources or the personnel to do it anymore because they've sent them to the fucking front lines. And there was also a hit up here where their nuclear subs are that they didn't talk about much because that stuff you didn't see. But the one over here in Siberia is probably the most incredible one because this is where the long-range bombers were like hidden because they thought they were totally safe over here. And they blew up a shit ton of those. And then here's the question I'd have. And I brought this up with Philip Ittner this morning, that if you're Russia and you're like, we're going to retaliate, this can't be, we will not allow this. How do you know that there aren't 10 more trucks just like them parked near the Kremlin? Oh, Boston Brian is on? Excellent. I'm gonna send you guys over because I'm sure he'll be talking about this. And it'll be a great thing. And he's back. Anyways, this these attacks on these airfields, this is them blowing up the actual planes. The footage is available all over the place, but it's really crucial that this is smart war. This doesn't involve, there's no civilian deaths in this at all. There's not even the chance of civilian deaths, really. Unless, I guess, there's a civilian vendor bringing food onto the base would be the biggest fear. But they were aimed directly at these planes. I don't know why those people would be anywhere near your top secret bombers. So 100% that, right? You're standing by to raid Brian? Excellent. Okay. Well, as soon as I'll just do it now because I've hung out long enough anyways. I've been here. I've overstayed my welcome. So let's, if you want, everybody who's on Twitch, we're going to raid Boston Brian right now, and I will see you guys tomorrow in the afternoon. Now, my tomorrow show will be earlier. It will be at 3 o'clock, a regular time, because Cam's with me now, and so we shift our family FaceTime thing that we do to later when he's here. So, because the time changed. So I'm going to be on at my regular time. And so I'll see you guys at 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. After I go do cryo in the morning. There might be video. I'm in my skivvies being frozen to death. I hope that's okay. But in the meantime, I will see you guys. And let me click this thing on. And we'll go to, this one. All right.
He's snarky, smart, and always live. It's House Sparks Megaworldwide. News, laughs, and righteous sass. Kicks fake facts right in the paws.
Oh, sass. I'm kidding. All right, we'll see you next time. And take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. And tell Boston Brian we love him and say hi. All right. And thank you, mods, and thank you, everybody, for the super chats and taking care of the show. Don't forget Patreon and Venmo. Best way to help the show. Patreon.com/HalSparks. Stand-up show for our Patreon people every month. Free show. And if I'm live in your area, you get to come to a show and bring a guest. So there's all kinds of perks. I'm just saying. All right. I'm out of here. You guys got someplace to go, and so do I. All right. And credits. Yeah. Hey, if you're on Substack, restack me. You can restack this post and other people can watch it. It's really helpful. And you can sub on there as well. Subscribe to the Substack, the House Sparks Substack, Megaworldwide. All right. Raid! Sparks raid. Look at that. All right.